home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, beer drinkers.
Get ready for an all-new experience in information exchange and beer culture.
Your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers from around the globe
right to your home.
You're not just listening to broadcasters, it's the Brewcasters
on the Brewing Network.
Oh man,
what's going on here?
What a show we got going on today.
Yes.
Guys are acting like a bunch of drunks and we didn't even start yet. Everyone's running around, getting their beers ready.
We need cold glasses.
We've got multiple kegs in the studio today. We got coolers full of beer. We've got several people to participate in the first official drunken show.
Well, what do we have here?
I don't even know. By popular demand, it's the Drunken Show. Doc's been wanting it for days. By popular demand, I meant Doc.
He's the popular one.
Also on the show today, we've got Matt Brynildson from Firestone Walker Brewery. He's going to hang out with us. Haven't figured out yet if he's going to participate in the Drunken Show. What are you thinking, Matt?
I'm a trained professional. I will be drinking throughout the show.
Okay, perfect. Now, lest you think that we're just going to hang out and drink like normal, you guys, no way. This show is by no means going to be a normal show. I have scheduled drinking activities that will take place throughout the show. I'm going to outline those in a couple of minutes. I've also got an actual CHP officer coming in to conduct sobriety tests on us throughout the show so that we can monitor our drunkenness.
Yes.
And then maybe he can escort us
all home. So I shouldn't be drinking?
Well, you just need to remember. Everyone's going to need to remember how much they drink today. So make a notch on a piece of paper next to you anytime you finish a pint, and that way he'll be able to tell you our BAC. Apparently, I guess they need all of their breathalyzers on weekends, because I asked him to bring in a breathalyzer, and he said, no, we're short. They couldn't spare any breathalyzers. So lots of drunk driving going on a Sunday afternoon, apparently.
That's good to know on a family holiday.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, we'll be doing it by field sobriety test, and he says that if he knows how many pints we've had, he can calculate our BAC.
Wonder if he'll check our eyes or something.
He's going to do a full-on field sobriety test, which I could probably do for you guys too, because I've been through that before. But I figured it'd be more credible if we get a CHP guy in here doing it.
Yes.
So we got that happening. I'm going to outline some of the other things in just a minute. I got some other business to take care of before I talk about our official drinking show. So there you go. Let's talk about what kind of beer we have in here though, real quick, before I do the business. Doc, what'd you bring?
I brought Hefeweizen.
Okay.
And I've got a pale.
All right.
And I got a fruit beer.
Okay.
Which you have to guess what fruit's in there.
Really? All right. That's cool. John, what'd you bring?
English Brown.
English Brown.
Brewed it just for Matt.
So. Wow, how about that?
He actually gave me the grain bill, so.
I tried it. It's outstanding.
It's good, huh? John brews good beer. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
He's an award winner, you know. If you couldn't tell by the medals hanging from his microphone stand, he's an award-winning brewer.
I take them everywhere I go.
Really?
And what'd you bring us today, Matt, from Firestone?
I brought the full Firestone lineup, but the special piece tonight will be beer straight off the Union.
Okay.
100% oak fermented double barrel ale.
Oh, sweet.
Nice.
I've got some pre-questions for you. People actually sent in questions during the week to ask you, and some of it's about oak, so glad you brought that. Cool. That'll be cool. Okay, couple of pieces of business to take care of. Let me say thank you again to Vinny Chilurzo from Russian River, who was in with us last week.
That was a good show.
He left me with some questions that you're going to enjoy, Matt, for you.
Really?
So that was pretty cool. But we did a Belgian show last week, which is a lot of fun. You would think that would have been the drunken show.
It really wasn't.
But not at all. We sipped and tasted like we were cultured human beings.
We are.
So that was actually kind of nice. It was a good show, and opened my eyes to some awesome Belgians, because I was not a big fan of Belgians, and I think I'm converted.
Yes.
I think
sour ales are delicious.
Completely converted. So anyway, that was a good show. I'm seeing that our official CHP officer has come in. Officer X, we're going to refer to him as. We don't want to get anybody in trouble for hanging out in the Brewing Network. But Officer X has arrived in the studio and is definitely going to monitor our drinking throughout the show.
Nice.
Which means we can now start drinking. Doc, would you mind pouring me a pint of your pale? I got a glass right there.
I can do that.
We need
water in there.
Yeah.
Give her that water.
I was about to get rid of the water for you.
Here, I'll drink too.
Okay, thank you. So we'll start this, and then, like I said, I'll go over what our games are. A couple other orders of business here today that I want to take care of. We've had some more forum issues. Remember we were talking about this a few weeks ago, John.
Unhappy people, or?
Yeah.
Wow, you can't make them all happy, can you?
No, which I have no intention of doing.
How many hours of sleep did you get last week? Tell me.
I don't know.
Yeah.
4, 5. I was up for quite a while doing the website. Oh yeah, maybe I should do that business before I get to this next. Because the business I'm going to do is sort of negative business. So let me do the positive first. How about that? Yeah. Okay, if you're listening to the show for the first time, that site that you've tuned in from is the brand new home of the Brewing Network. And if you've listened before, like most of you have, enjoy. It's yours. I made that for you guys this week. And a lot of you forum posters and regular listeners, Oz, Gucci, Lufa, a few of you, to name a few. I know there were others in there. Doc, absolutely. You guys were awesome to me throughout the week. It really kept me going. I'd be in here at like 3:30 in the morning, just ready to be like, God, what am I doing? Who even cares? And then I'd check the forum, and they would all be posting, and they're like, "Hey, I'm sending you beer. Fight the good fight." You know, all sorts of stuff. Like you're doing a good job.
Well, you fought it.
So they were awesome, and at least the first stage of the new home of the Brewing Network is up. So there you go. You got archives there. I'll be posting more of them because I know I didn't put up all the shows yet. It takes a while to upload. I actually fell asleep at on the last day before putting it up. I was trying to upload archives, and because it takes long, it was the first time I wasn't doing something constantly. So I would hit the upload button and then kind of sit here and I'd lean back in my chair. I wake up like 3 hours later. Wow. It's 8 in the morning all of a sudden, and I'm asleep in the studio.
That's hardcore.
So I will get you more archives up this week. The gallery was all ready to go. It was one of the last things I put up so that we'd have a picture gallery. Yeah. I came home to start uploading pictures. I deleted the whole thing.
Oh no.
It was 3 a.m. It was the last day. I've been going for days. I hit the wrong button.
It's better those on the website, so.
Yeah, exactly. At least I didn't delete the whole thing. I would have shot myself if I hit the delete button on the entire website. Thank you, Doc. The gallery, as soon as Aaron, who I can't thank enough for the help that he gave me down the stretch to make everything really work, he'll get it back going for you, hopefully tomorrow or Tuesday, and then I got pictures to post also. And I don't know, I ordered a bunch of T-shirts this week, John, so we're going to be selling Brewing Network T-shirts through the website.
Nice.
To help us, no, the limited edition. I ordered a second batch of limited edition. They're nice, and I can sell them cheap, because people want to donate just like little bits of money, and these shirts weren't expensive to make. Okay. So now they can donate like $10. I'll give them a shirt. Cool. Something like that. I'll post all the details for that.
Nice. Well, I like wearing those. So.
Pale ale.
Yeah. How's that taste? Brown.
That's good, Doc. Is that the same one from a while ago?
Yeah, different yeast.
It's sweeter.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Is that the blended yeast?
That's the blended yeast.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like Cal Ale with Irish Ale, I think. I don't know.
Yummy. All right. That's my drink of choice for the night. Until we get to the Firestone, and then whatever.
Yeah.
And in the second half of the show, I don't care what it is. Put it in front of me. It's going down. All right, that's the deal.
Oh my God.
So, one of the forum guys told me that I was allowed to brag and take a bow about the new website. Okay. So I'm bragging and I'm taking a bow.
Take
officially.
A bow real quick.
There you go. And I just hope everybody likes it. Oh, and the new chat room.
It works.
It totally works. You can put your name in, any name you want. You don't have to do all that stupid stuff I used to have to say to get into the chat room.
Yeah.
Just log on. Just go for it. Just do it. It's nice. And it's got all sorts of features. You can make it as pretty or as ugly as you want. You can send private messages. So Daniela, you're in trouble with that. Everyone's gonna be sending you private messages. Daniela's in the chat room again today, if you guys haven't figured it out already.
Saying nice things about you.
So if you're just listening and you haven't entered our chat room, hit the chat now button and put in a name. Go right in there. It's the easiest way to get to us. We monitor the whole thing throughout the show. You can ask questions to our brewer of the day, who is Matt from Firestone Walker Brewing Company, and you can ask questions to the rest of us too. You can even call us names. Daniela usually likes to take the microphone from John and let us know when people are calling me names. So you can do that.
They usually call you names.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to try to change that today. Everyone thinks I was the sissy on the Hangover show. We'll see who's the sissy today, boys. We'll be talking about that near the end of the show.
Well, you can handle your liquor, so.
Daniela, get your own beer.
No.
All right, she wants to try the beer.
Get your own damn
Okay, now I got to get to the other business, because this is the kind of stuff that's important to me, and I like to rant about it because I think the community needs to hear it. Okay, Matt, is Matt here? Did he show up? Matt didn't come. The guy who does the posting and all the forums for us, not the Matt who's here today, the other guy. You know Matt.
Peterson. Yeah.
He's Fast Bottoms in our forum and in all the other forums. is nice enough to volunteer his time to us. I don't know how much time he spends each week. It can't be a short amount.
He's in over 50 forums.
He's in over 80 forums.
Okay.
I found out today. He's in over 80 forums. He registers for them, and all he does is he goes to the forums and he posts what this week's show about. So he posts, for example, this week is the Drunken Show, and we've got Matt from Firestone Walker. That way, if some of our listeners who don't have time to come to our forum and do all that kind of stuff, if they're interested, or if they're not a listener and they're interested in this kind of stuff or the chat topic, whatever, they can hear about it. Okay. All right. So he does that, and he doesn't go around like asking permission. It's just a post. It's not an advertisement. He's not soliciting anybody. It's a post.
They didn't like the topic, did they?
Well, this particular forum, and I'll mention them later when I'm not being so negative, because they also were upset that we never mention any of the forums that we post in. I'm going to talk about all this, but here's the deal. This particular forum decided to get extremely violent toward Matt in this.
Okay.
This
is a new occurrence.
This is a new occurrence.
Because I know he's
happened.
had some flack before.
He's gotten it before, and and we've sort of smoothed over those issues with different forums and reassured them that we're not advertising, we're not asking for money or anything like that. We're just offering something to the community. And so we've gone through this before, but this one went a little farther than ever before, and I just thought it was interesting to talk about. I've actually got some of their posts here that I can read to you guys. Of course. Let me do this warning before I start reading posts. Occasionally this is a family show. Some of you guys are at home and it's a Sunday and you're with your families and all that. So
first one down.
As I'm Dr. Scott going to town.
It's been like 3 minutes.
As I'm reading these forum posts, you might want to get the kids out of the room, turn the stereo down, put the headphones on. If anybody doesn't like vulgar language or things like that, don't listen to this particular segment. We don't usually go, being too vulgar on the show, but in this particular case, I'm just reading quotes from other people. Okay. So I'm just giving a warning to you listeners.
Strong language.
Strong language.
Any nudity?
This part, it won't be any nudity, but it's definitely rated R due to strong and occasionally violent language. So get the kids out of the room, unless you're like my parents and you didn't care about that sort of thing, and then they'll turn out like me. So good luck to you with that. All right. A couple other posts. So all he did was he posted this particular week's show. It's a Drunken Show. We got Matt. We're going to be talking about hop chemistry.
Come join us, basically. Yeah.
And just instantly they just started posting like, leave us alone. Don't post these things. I'll read you a couple of the things. That's not it. That's my news. Here we go. Okay. Stop this shit, dude. How many times do I have to tell you to stop these damn advertisements? Review some beer, you asshat. This is not the damn classifieds in the nursepaper. Okay, that was post number 1. You got Matt on the phone there? Okay, let me go ahead and...
No, this will be...
All right, you can hang
be
up.
good.
You can go. All right. Matt, you there?
Really?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Good.
Why aren't you here, man?
Well, I understand that there's a peace officer in the room, and there's a issue of warrants, and I thought maybe I better not show up. So.
Good idea.
I'm glad he doesn't have headphones on.
John used your last name, though. You can punch him in the face for that. All right, let me keep reading these posts, and then you can give us a little background. Is that cool, Matt? Okay, here's the second one. And this one's good. And this is part of the reason I'm reading this is because people don't... Let me preface this with saying this. People send us advice very often, like to you in particular, John.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to turn your radio down, Matt. People send us advice very often about how we should change the show and what we should do, right?
Yeah.
And then you go, hey, have you ever listened to the show? And they go, no. You're like, okay, then shut up for a second and listen to the show, and then you can tell me. Well, the same thing happens like with website and forums. People will post things like they've actually seen or heard the show. And they haven't. Okay. This guy says, don't download or stream anything from their site. I did so last week and got 2 different worms in doing so. You really don't want to go through the trouble I did cleaning your computer after listening to this mess. So they're saying they got viruses, basically, from downloading our stream. Okay. Anybody who's ever downloaded our stream knows that it's not true. Right. It's impossible to get a virus from our stream. Right. It's unless somebody else embeds it there, but it's not there. Yeah. Everything is spyware free. It doesn't cost you any money. You click the button, it downloads something, you listen. Right. That's it. So,
Advocast is a secured site, I think.
It's a secured site. It's a free spyware free plugin. Blah
Nothing
blah blah.
to do with us.
Another guy says, I watched the show. All I saw was midgets, the solid gold dancers, and dogs dressed up in suits. It was really weird. Now listen,
Wow, that guy
if
was
that
too
were
much beer.
true, I wouldn't be defending us at all because I think that'd be awesome.
I think
That's
he-
going on today. I'm leaving right now.
I think he had his own drunken show.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I would be happy if we had midgets and dogs dressed up in suits. I got no problem with
How
that.
about midgets dressed up in dog suits?
That would be fine. But the fact of the matter is, there's nothing to watch. It's a radio show. You gotta listen. There's no video involved. There's not even a picture available on the website.
I'm not sure you're supposed to call them midgets. I think it's little people.
Yeah.
I think they
There
switched
you
back
go.
to midgets, actually.
Because they don't want to be confused with dwarves.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's okay to say midgets. I mean, I'm not saying this guy's a bigot. I'm just saying he's an idiot
Yeah.
because he doesn't know what he looked at.
Oh, wow.
So again, with the like, people think they've seen something and they haven't. They just like.
I think you
posting
kept
it.
watching that speaker thing going in and out.
Yeah, and he started seeing things.
And then I started seeing.
He's he's brewing something else up at home is what
Yeah.
he's doing. All right, what else? This is directly to Matt. You know, Fast Bottoms, you piss me the hell off. Stop this advertisement pitch. You're an ass handler. Which is true anyway, isn't it, Matt?
Absolutely.
You are kind of an ass
the only
handler.
true thing they said.
Yeah.
Now, Matt, I got to ask you: is this the worst beating you've ever taken on a forum?
Oh, far and away. These guys were merciless and cruel, and
you cried. I bet you
and I
cried
would've-
like a little girl.
it completely took me by surprise because normally when I go in and do a promotional post, I will subscribe to that thread so I can be alerted to any responses
Right.
to it. But on this particular forum, and I don't know why this is the case, it's the only one I've ever seen, and believe me, I've been on, well, as Justin said, over 80 of them now. You cannot subscribe to a thread. So I had no idea that all this was going on,
Yeah.
behind my back until I just happened
To go back
the other
on
day when
and
I
see.
posted to check in.
Wow.
And I was getting hammered big time.
So here's one of Matt's responses. And Matt, man,
He's good with words.
you're an Iron Man
Yeah, he
because
is.
you went back and forth with these guys. It looks like for a couple of days, and that I appreciate.
You know,
Oh,
but
I was in the chat room with those guys for 2 hours last night. Just
In our chat room?
trading punches, no.
On theirs.
On this particular forum chat
Okay,
room.
okay. Well, here's one of the posts that Matt did, just so I can read what, kind of how Matt's trying to help us out, too.
depends,
In response, he says, I could see your point if I was selling something. I'm not. The Brewing Network is just getting off the ground and there's no advertising budget, so beer-related forums are pretty much how we do it. Forums such as this, and yes, we also have one on the Brewing Network website, should be used to help to get the word out about good beer. We should be helping beer lovers around the world become better educated about beer. But you seem threatened by the mention of another website here. You should know that many of our listeners come from these postings, and this is the first negative reaction I've encountered. Strange that so many of you this particular forum are vehemently opposed to it. I think you are cutting off your nose to spite your face, but if you don't want to hear about the show, so be it. I won't lose any sleep over it.
Nice.
That's Matt.
Well said, Matt.
That's totally fine, and you're absolutely
That's cool.
right. And I did a posting later on that basically said the same thing.
Yeah.
That if you don't want it here, that's fine. Our point is not to violate anybody, except for occasionally you, John.
Yeah,
But
that's okay.
other than that,
an occasional midget.
yeah, and a midget every now and then. We will cease from posting it if we get word that the majority of them don't want us to do it.
Justin, you didn't read the post where I called a couple of those guys twats.
Well, no, I didn't, but I was going to read the email you sent me and then kind of get onto that because they were really cussing Matt out, and
Yeah.
so he's not going to stand for that.
Yeah.
So he had to say a few things back, and I don't blame you a bit for that, Matt. And by the way, after I do all this berating of the site, I'm going to say some nice things
Let
about
it
them
out.
too.
Let it
so
out. Talk
I'm a double-sided guy. I don't like to censor or hold anything back, so I'm just saying what I think right now. Here's an email. Is this email that you got, or is it just a copy of a post?
It was a private message that
Okay.
one of the members sent me.
Okay. And this is great. Again, if the kids are in the room, get them out. I'm going to take a drink, get your kids out, then I'll read it.
Okay.
Okay, this one's good. Matt, I'm so glad you sent me this. I laughed my behind off. Okay, it says this. So, please leave blank, and I'll say what the site is when I'm done. You suck dick, and your show does too. You are not talented, and calling people names on a public forum is stupid. Your show is really gay, like you. Come on, promote something cool, not lame and homosexual. Fuck off, faggot. And by the way, the Brewing Network, this is the best part, the Brewing Network seems to promote homosexuals. Is it entirely run by gays like you?
Well, yes, but that's beside the
That
point.
guy's homophobic, man. Jesus.
Seriously.
That's ridiculous.
And he's like, don't call people names. you cum-sucking faggot. Like, you know what I mean? So listen, here again, in Matt's defense, in the Brewing Network's defense, and in the homosexual community's defense, we at the Brewing Network do not discriminate. I don't care what your age, sex, race, religion, sexual orientation. You're welcome in my home and my studio. You're welcome on the radio show.
Yeah.
If you know anything about beer, or if you happen to be kind of funny, you're welcome. Those are my only criteria. I'm not going to sit here and tell you or describe to you how every one of us is a heterosexual. I don't feel the need to do that. If you think I'm gay, awesome. Whatever. Send me your number. What do you want?
Yeah. A little late night call.
If you think Matt's gay too, fine. Awesome. Send him your number. Send him. You know what I'm saying here? It's getting ridiculous. Don't be retarded.
Wow.
Okay. Now in somewhat of a defense of the particular forum that I'm talking about. The forum is called beerpal.com. Right? Is that right, Matt?
That is correct.
Where'd you find this?
I just
homophobic
Googled it or
site.
Yahoo'd it, or it's one of the many I've found recently.
Okay. There are tons of people involved in this particular forum. So my guess, and in my posting I sort of inferred to this, my guess is that the majority of them don't hold the same opinion. Yeah. That the majority of them aren't, homophobes or anything else. And I'm not gonna say that the forum is bad or good. It actually seems that there's probably a lot of information just because there's so many active people on the forum, which I really like. I appreciate that. With that said, even though their forum is possibly larger than ours, I'm not sure. I didn't look really hard. I don't feel any competition between the Brewing Network and beerpal.com or
we're not trying to compete with other people though.
Yeah, exactly. Or any other site. So if you guys want to post anything about BeerPal on our forum, I promise not to call you a homosexual faggot. Yeah. All right? How about that?
We should have a forums link on our website.
But I don't
even though we don't have a moderator.
Even though we don't have a moderator. We don't
need one because we don't have to put up with that crap.
That's right. And also now, again, in BeerPal's defense, in beerpal.com, the defense of there were a couple really cool people that posted in the middle there who actually just chose to take the Switzerland approach and not take anybody's side except to say, hey guys, can we be a little civil here and not call each other names and get back to talking about beer, which that was awesome.
Which we do.
Which we do also. Yeah. So, listen, I'm going to give you the bottom line again, okay? Here's the deal. We don't compete with anybody. We don't expect you to compete with us. We don't do things to intentionally take business away from anybody else. We don't ask for money. We don't solicit advertising. We don't do anything else. Yes. We're sharing information. We're actually providing a pretty unique service where listeners get access to people like Matt from Firestone here. They get to ask them questions directly. They can call us up right now and ask the guy questions. And if they wanted to call Matt a douchebag, I wouldn't censor him from that either.
You can call me a douchebag anytime you like.
So it's a pretty unique thing, and Matt is absolutely right that one of the only ways we have to let people know about it is to post in forums. So if you don't want us there, have your administrator or the majority of you send us an email, whatever. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it either, Matt. Like you don't got to post there anymore. I don't care.
Yeah, you do. Otherwise we wouldn't have any copy to talk about.
Yeah, that's true.
I will definitely continue posting there because I'm sure that these there's like 4 to 6 guys that once I sat back and thought about it, because initially I thought, Jesus Christ, this whole forum is a bunch of frickin' Okies.
But it wasn't. It was really like 4.
But it really was just a handful of guys that seemed to follow 1 or 2 leaders in this.
But they thought it was funny to jump you.
Well, no,
which is true.
Listen to it,
they weren't doing it because they thought it was funny. They were doing it because they were genuinely pissed that I was doing what they assumed was advertising on their website.
Oh, so you were in their hood.
Exactly. It was definitely a case of this is our territory.
I have to say, with this particular website, they have, and Justin, you just hit the nail on the head, the territorial aspect. They're very parochial there. It's a culture I've never found on another website. But anyway, I will continue to post there until one of their moderators says, no, you're violating board policy, which nobody has said yet. So I think probably just keep doing it until they say no.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
And as I said to Matt,
I'm sure there are people there who do, and I'm sure some of them are probably listening to the show right now, that they will enjoy it and will be interested.
Well, hopefully so. If not, whatever. That's fine too. But let me do a last thing then. It's beerpal.com. Check it out. It's a big forum. There's lots of people there. See what they have to offer.
post their forum on
I'm not
ours.
going to judge anything
Some nice people,
about it.
some not so nice.
Exactly, which is pretty common in forums.
Yeah.
My only point in bringing it up is
Well, everybody
that,
grows balls behind the computer screen.
Yes, but at the same time, it's this contradiction that I always talk about on here, where you can talk to people in the brew community who like to tell you how it's all about the community and it's all about sharing.
That's pretty much what you
And
say.
then at the same time, they're extremely territorial and don't like it when you get involved with each other and don't compete and don't step on our toes. And it's completely hypocritical. So I said it before, I'll say it again. Don't be a douchebag. Share alike. We're sharing information.
There's
we'll give it
room.
to you. You give it to us.
There's room.
Come on, it's a big digital world out there.
Yeah.
All right, Matt.
Absolutely.
Keep up the good work, man.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you very much, man.
Hey, you know that you got my email right. You know that even bad publicity is good publicity, right?
Yeah, I did get that. Yeah. So,
No publicity.
That's right.
right on, guys. Well, hey, have a good show, and I'll be listening and in the chat room.
Are you
Cool.
gonna stay at home and play our drinking games with us?
Absolutely.
All right, cool. I'm gonna outline those here in a second.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, later.
See you, man.
Nice beer, Jonathan.
Thanks.
Beer number 3, guys. Come on, keep up.
Beer number 3.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I didn't even start the drinking games yet.
Your lips
All right,
are
let me-
flapping
yeah,
way
yeah.
too much.
Talk amongst yourselves while I finish my beer.
You gotta let it go. Right on. What are these games you have lined out here?
Okay.
Every caller does what?
If someone could fill the pale ale for me, I'm gonna go over
Do you want a
a few
pail?
of our games. I want a pail. I can't. You know, I can't have the Hefeweizen because I'll puke, and I'm not into the fruity stuff. Even though we're apparently a fruity station here.
I like Doc's shirt.
Yeah. Okay, here's the games here's what's going to consist and make up the drunken show. Here's what we have to do. First of all, every time we get a caller, and we just got our first one, so you guys are going to be expected to follow this rule, you're going to have to chug half of your pint.
Jesus.
Chug it.
Well, they have to have half a pint there.
You will
I'm
have to
already
have half a
chugging.
pint there. When we get a call, you're going to need to fill it up and drink it. Half a pint every time we get a call.
So is it the last
this
half
is,
or the first half?
Whatever
a quarter
half you
pint?
got. You just
Is that
have to drink
everybody?
a half a pint.
Everybody does?
Can we do
Yes,
quarter pint?
everybody. This will both get us drunk and encourage listener participation for them to call in.
It's for the greatest.
So the number, which is now posted on the contact page of the website, man, that feels good to say, is 888-401-BEER.
Wow.
Every time somebody calls in, we will drink half a pint. Until we can drink no longer
gonna
if
be
the
bad,
calls
Jim.
just happen over and over. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, and Doc has already fulfilled his portion for this segment, 3 full pints must be consumed during each segment. Now, a segment means in between our commercial breaks, which aren't actually commercials, they're song breaks.
What happens if I fail to do this?
You will have to drink 3 extra at the break.
Wow. Okay.
John, don't sis out already.
Okay.
You got plenty of time. Our segments go for like a half hour before we take a break, if not 45 minutes. So, like I said, Doc's already done his 3 for
Honey?
this segment.
Yeah,
He's on
baby.
number 3. Okay, so 3 full pints consumed during each segment. Matt, are you in on this?
You don't.
I'm going to fake it as good as I
Yeah,
can.
Okay.
you can fake it.
The third rule for today, and this one's going to get good too. Every time someone says ferment or fermentation on today's show,
Take a drink.
you have to take a drink.
Okay.
Hey, you're lucky I didn't
Matt,
make it hops, since today's topic is hop chemistry. So, every time someone says ferment or fermentation.
He said it.
Now, I said it. That's 2 drinks, because I said them both.
He said fermentation.
So, either one of those words, you take 2 gulps. That's all. Okay.
I might pass out in this chair.
The fourth part of the show is that Officer X will be monitoring our drunkenness throughout the show. He's left the studio for a second.
He has a beer in his hand.
He's drinking?
Wait a minute.
Wow.
He's
Yeah.
off duty.
Officer,
I didn't see his
I was gonna
gun
call him
anywhere.
Officer Sex, which would have been, that's a whole different show.
Okay.
Officer X,
Well,
will
if there's
be,
2 of them, you could call him Officer Sex.
yeah. He will be administering field sobriety tests throughout the show. We don't have a breathalyzer, but he can do all the other stuff. And as long as we document our pints, are you writing down your pints? Doc?
I got yes.
You've
You got to keep note.
make notches for every pint you drink.
Or taking my knife and just notch into the counter here.
Yeah.
Please don't.
You're at 3, right, Doc?
Yeah.
Okay. So he'll be able to tell.
I'm working on my third.
He'll be able to tell our ABC by then.
I'm halfway done with my third. How's that?
Okay. And the final thing that's going to help us designate how the alcohol has affected us is that I have a few readings that you each are going to have to do later on in the show. I'm going to give them to you, and you're going to have to read them back into the microphone.
Oh, that's great.
And maybe I'll have you read them like once at the top of the hour and then again at the bottom of the hour and see what the difference is.
Did you play these in college?
I didn't.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. There you go. Those are our rules for today's show.
All right, on.
Okay. I've got them in front of me, so don't think I'm going to forget about them now, kids. John, that's 3 pints between each segment.
Okay.
You got me?
Wow. And how many segments are there?
I don't know. We usually end up with 3. So that's
how
only
long does
9
it take
pints.
to ferment 3 pints?
I can't
Drink for saying the F word.
I physically cannot do that.
It's now
Have
the
you
new
seen the
official
size
F
of me,
word.
Justin? I can't handle that.
Yeah, you can.
Officer X, could you please take the microphone for 1 second here? Just grab the middle one. I just want to talk to you for a second. Introduce yourself.
My name is Officer X.
Okay.
That's what I tell people after I beat them up and they ask for my name and badge. And
Nice. Good work.
They
Now,
want to get their drugs back.
now, lest people think that I'm joking and I just brought in some homeless guy off the street who wanted to hang out in the beer show, you are actually an official CHP officer. Is that correct?
I'm officially homeless too, but I am an official CHP officer, yes.
Okay. Are you working tonight? As a matter of fact, you work the night shift, don't you?
I do work the graveyard shift because that's where I interact with the most beer connoisseurs.
Okay, I'm sure it is,
There you go.
actually.
Right on.
And are you working tonight after the show?
I actually am not.
Okay.
So I have a little bit of freedom to enjoy the...
Cool, so you can drink with us as well as monitor our alcohol content.
It'll be a unique experience trying to explain the FSTs while being a little bit inebriated myself.
Right. FSTs, being that I'm a professional in this topic, are field sobriety tests, by the way.
Wow.
And I told them before you came, Nathan, that I probably could have done this myself. I just thought it'd be more official if we had you do it. So, now, again, you don't have a breathalyzer, as I told our listeners, but you say you will be able to, tell our ABV if we tell you the amount of pints we've had within a certain amount of time, correct?
That'd be one way of determining the approximate blood alcohol concentration.
Uh-huh.
The other way, just to inform the viewers out there, the actual main field sobriety test is actually called horizontal gaze nystagmus, and it's the involuntary twitching of the eyes.
Okay.
And that's actually very accurate for determining what the blood alcohol concentration is.
Okay.
Because it's consistent regardless of your size and regardless of your familiarity with alcohol.
Good. So if we forget how many pints we've had, you're still going to be able to tell our BAC.
Exactly.
That's very nice.
Wow.
Now that's good to know. It's a common misconception that when the cop does the follow the finger thing, he just wants to make sure that you don't turn your head and you can actually follow the finger. He's a lot smarter than you
Watch
are.
your eyes.
He could give a shit if you follow the finger. It's when he gets to the side over there, like over to the left or the right, that your eye begins to twitch.
Mine's twitching.
Correct, Officer X?
Exactly. At the ends, it twitches at about 50 degrees, and every degree back from 50 degrees, coming back towards the center of your nose, usually 0.01% on of our BAC. We're also looking for smooth tracking. You'll notice this today during the show that kind of looks like your eyeballs are a marble on sand. They just kind of click, click, click.
Gotcha.
Whereas normally they'd have smooth tracking if you weren't intoxicated.
See,
And
these things are good to know.
The third test is a trip around the block on your motorcycle.
Yeah,
he's
we
already
could do that.
learning speech.
Yeah, hey, he's on number 3 now. Okay, and then just a last question, and I'm going to get to you later as there's something to actually test. Is it true that the best thing to say if you've gotten pulled over and you're suspected of drunken driving is, "No, Oscar Fur, I've not been drunking"?
I love that line.
I've
That's
only
amazing
had
there. The
one-
only better line that will guarantee me that you are drunk is say you've had 2 beers. It's actually it's a universal thing. I've heard from every nation, every
beers.
country, people say
2
2 beers, dos cervezas. It's always 2.
Yeah.
That's all they've had when I ask them how many.
That's funny. When I got pulled over, that's all I had too. And that's exactly what I said to the officer, because I'm not too smart. Yeah, I was like, you've been drinking? Yeah, I just had like 2 beers. Right? That's what they always say. I just
I'm
had
not
like
kidding.
2 beers.
I guarantee, honestly,
Yeah.
2 beers.
Yeah.
They always say.
Yeah. The correct
know how to get out
answer,
of this.
the correct answer is actually, officer, no, I've not been drinking. Correct?
That hopefully is the correct answer.
All right.
Right.
Now, what happens if you
Because all
lie?
that pot I've been smoking, I don't need a drink.
That's good stuff.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Officer X. He will be with us throughout the show to monitor our sobriety or lack thereof. Okay. Last thing before we take a break, which means I've got to finish this pint and then another one, and you too, John.
Fermentation.
Now we have to drink.
Pick one. Well,
Okay.
What happens if you lie and you say there's nothing to drink and you actually are caught? Is it worse, like offenses? I mean,
It depends on
No.
what mood he's in.
I'm going to speak for Officer X here for just a
Okay.
second because I've had numerous discussions with him. It's not necessarily. Here's the deal: when you get pulled over and they ask if you've been drinking,
Yeah.
it pretty much they're just going through the motions.
Right.
They know you've been drinking.
Okay.
If you really have only had one beer, and you say no, I've not been drinking, you're probably going to get away with it, or he might pull you out of the car and check you out, and you're going to be fine anyway.
Right.
But if you're drunk, he already knows it. It kind of doesn't matter what you say. Am I right, Officer X? Just give me anything. I'm pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, you just can't miss the smell of an alcoholic beverage inside the vehicle unless
Yeah.
you just got into it 5 seconds ago. It reeks.
Right.
So I make a point that would be a good way of getting yourself dragged out of the car for 20 minutes to say, no, I have anything to drink if I'm smelling alcoholic beverage within the vehicle.
Wow.
Might as well just say the one beer, and I might actually just look at your eyes right inside the vehicle and go, yeah, actually, you're not
okay.
drunk. One
It
beer's
actually
right.
did happen to me once. I did get pulled over, and I actually had only had one beer. And the officer did just that. He looked at my eyes, and he said, all right, you look fine. Get out of here.
Nice.
The other officer, I said I had 2 beers. He said, you're lying. Get out of the car. And he was right.
Yeah.
So there you go. But that's all in the
How many-
past.
how many
and,
did you have?
I digress. Not that many. I think I had... Here's the thing, and I had said this before.
Excuses begin.
I had said this before
I had
about
to
getting
ask.
my DUI. It's one of the best things that ever happened to me because there were times prior to my getting caught that I had drank way, way more than I should have had and then driven home. And that was just bad news. And I had done it and not happy or proud about that, but I had done it. This particular time, I hadn't had that much. I think I had had 3 beers and a shot over a 3-hour period, which for me is like drinking a Gatorade while I'm jogging. All right, it's no big deal, except that my BAC content is obviously over the limit, and I stink. And it actually runs in the Crosley family that if you put a drop of beer on our mouth, we stink like a brewery for 2 days. It's in my genes.
You sweat it.
I sweat it.
I'm sorry, Daniel.
I spit it out. It's all over me.
Has nothing
So-
to do with the hurl all over your
yeah,
shirt.
Right. Exactly. This particular, when I got pulled over and I got my DUI, he pulled me out of the car and said, I went through all the tests. And I passed the test with flying colors. And he said that to me. He said, well, you actually did great on the test. But I still, think that you're over the limit, so I'm going to give you the breathalyzer. So it really doesn't matter. And again, at the point where they're giving you field sobriety tests, they already know they're going to give you the breathalyzer. They're going through the motions. If you get field sobriety tests, I'll tell you this. I'm going to save you some time and embarrassment right now. If you're an idiot like I was, and you happen to get pulled over for driving drunk, which you shouldn't be doing anyway, and none of us will be doing today, by the way. We arranged rides for everybody home today.
Who's Dr. Scott's
Sober.
friend?
I
In
think
case-
Danielle.
I keep asking that, and nobody's telling me.
Yeah. Well, his wife really wanted to know, and I picked him up. So.
There's a bus down the road.
Yeah, okay.
That's how dogs get know. Anyway, I'm going to save you the. If you're drunk when you get pulled over and he gets you out of the car and says do the field sobriety test, just say, you know what? Why don't we just cut the chase and give me the breathalyzer? Because he's going to do it anyway. So even if you pass all those things and you stand on your leg and cluck like a chicken,
So honesty is
he's
the best
giving
thing.
you the thing. No, it's
No?
just you're still going to get busted.
Yeah, but-
I'm just saying, why stand on one hand?
Like
and
it raked over the coals.
Yeah, don't do jumping jacks while standing on your head. Just say, give me the thing and then pull, take me away. Right? Save yourself the time. If you're drunk,
Yeah.
you don't got to do those tests. In fact, it's kind of cool because you'll probably aggravate the officer because I think they love doing that part. I think they love making you look like an idiot, and you'll be like, hey,
Is that true?
listen, I'm not going to
Officer
give you
X?
the satisfaction of making me jump through fiery hoops.
And we all know
Buddy.
you want to aggravate the officers. So you'd be stuck in the car with him for
Yeah.
an hour, getting driven around to the different tests,
Right.
the breathalyzer and stuff.
So there you go. Don't bother, if you're drunk, don't bother doing the FSTs. Just ask for the breathalyzer and then you can get to sleep quicker in your jail cell for the night.
Yeah, with Bubba.
Yeah. Oh
Okay.
God.
A little
gotta
piece of
put- you
advice,
got-
since we're on the subject, never refuse the breathalyzer. I don't care what you read in the books. Any officer, if you're that close or whatever else, he's going to arrest you, especially if you refuse the breathalyzer. It's
And you're
not-
gonna get busted
And
anyway.
you're going to get busted anyway. I've had breathalyzer results come back that I was going to arrest the person, and it was just low enough that I let them go.
Yeah.
So that's really what the breathalyzer is there for us, to show are they close enough to the line that there's not worth arresting.
Okay. Fair enough. However, to
So-
preface that, don't do it in the first place.
There you go.
Don't
Responsibility.
drink and drive.
Exactly.
Okay. Make sure we do that. Need to
Which
finish
we
my second
did.
pint here.
We have DDs. We're good.
Mhm.
We're good people.
I'm empty again.
Doc, you're not going to last 2 segments, buddy.
Yeah, I told you that Doc's the one who really
I
requested
can't
the
wait
show.
for the hop chemistry talk and oak barrels. Blah, blah, blah.
All right.
You ready, Matt?
Let me do some news real quick. I need to do it now because I won't be able to read in another half an hour or so. So, did you guys read this, that the wine in America has edged over beer as America's drink of choice?
Okay, it edged over Budweiser.
I don't know. Here's the study. For the first time, wine has edged out beer as the alcoholic beverage of choice in Gallup's annual consumption habits poll conducted in July. 39% of American drinkers named wine as the alcoholic beverage they drink most often, while 36% go for the gusto with a cold brew first. And that's a dramatic switch from 92, when beer was named by 47% by those surveyed, and just 27% said wine. So in the same time frame, there's been no change in the number who say they prefer spirits first, which is 21%. Gallup says the reasons are more complicated than people switching simply from beer to wine. For one, minorities and women are driving up the wine numbers, according to the report. So, and age is also a factor. Wine and beer are preferred about equally in the 30 to 49 age group, while wine surges ahead for those 50 and older. Which is obvious unless you hang out at a brew club meeting.
So we'll be doing wine show in 20 years.
Yeah, we might be. Hopefully not. We're going to work to switch
20
that
years
is what
for
we're
me.
doing.
Okay.
TBN's goal is to
old.
promote beer, so we're going to fight this new trend. While beer is still the drink of choice for 18 to 29-year-old, it appears that young adults are trading in their beer mugs for martini glasses, helping to maintain spirits' place in the poll. Which is, I don't know why young people do that, because it gives you a bad hangover.
Yeah.
Beer doesn't
Mixed
give you such a
alcohol,
bad
not
hangover.
good.
Yeah.
Stick with beer.
Although
Or wine.
strong ale gives you a bad hangover, as if you download the Hangover Show archive. I
Yeah.
can attest to that.
Oh, yeah.
So, Matt, you got some work to do in the brewing industry to get beer back on top, buddy.
We always think that the craft brew industry is kind of, 10 years behind the wine industry, and that our peak is yet to come.
Okay.
Yeah.
10% of the beer industry, and easily this Gallup poll down the line.
Right. I think you're right.
How many barrels do you do?
Our brewery?
Yeah, your brewery a year?
About 40,000 barrels.
40,000. That's pretty large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like my household consumes like half of that. So, you got to get to work, Matt.
Right on.
Stop being lazy over there.
Stop getting me drunk.
All right, second news story, a beer that was produced in New Delhi. This beer is good for you. It's called An Indian Firm has launched a vitamin-rich beer, which it says protects the body from the harmful effects of alcohol. The Press Trust of India news agency reported. Doc, that this works for my plight to say that beer's healthy and that we all need to drink it.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned, what was the name of the place that started this?
In New Delhi.
No, the name of the company.
There wasn't
The company. I didn't say it yet.
You said beer firm.
An Indian firm is all it was.
Oh, yeah.
A firm in
Firm.
India. Just
Like,
a firm
is that
in
like
India.
fermentation?
No.
Hey, wait a
No,
minute. Thanks
Doc.
a lot, Doc.
Like you need another
Jeez.
reason to drink.
Jerk.
Okay, I need a refill so I can fill my 3 pints before the segment's over. Yeah, you guys know that I'm always like fighting to promote beer health, so this has just helped me out here.
I know. You keep drilling this into us.
Well,
I think it's
Matt,
important.
As if we're not healthy enough.
Lady
Beer's healthy
Bird.
for you, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See?
He knows.
Here's the company. Lady Bird Bio Beer contains aloe vera extracts as well as the normal ingredients of barley malt and hops, says its inventor. I'm not going to bother
So
trying
if you're
to say
caught
it.
on fire, you're...
Or my skin will be nice and smooth as I'm drinking beer.
The inventor said that research showed that it did not harm the liver or cause ulcers and gastric illness. He's quoted as saying, the results of human clinical trials have shown aloe vera increases the bioavailability of vitamins like B1, B6, B12, C, and E, said C.B. Jagannatha Rao, Senior Vice President of the Kode Group of Industries. The beer was launched in southern India state of Kerala today by Kode in partnership with Amaranth's firm, a bunch of names I can't pronounce. Consignments of the beer had been exported to Canada, and customers from Malaysia and the United States also expressed interest. I'd like to get a hold of some of that beer. It's got aloe in it.
Yeah,
Everybody knows aloe's good.
That's a lot of vitamin.
You can never go wrong with aloe.
No.
It's entirely natural, and I think it heals everything.
Try throwing that in your fermentation.
Yeah.
What? Fermentation?
Yeah.
This
is fun.
It's a drink. If you're playing at home, you need to drink anytime someone
you gotta
says
play with us
the
at
two
home.
F
Come on.
words. And you got to finish 3 pints within 5 minutes of this whole segment because it's about to be done, and you will have had to have 3 pints. Okay, in Cameroon, they're using beer bottle caps as currency.
So are you.
I don't get to buy stuff with it. What am I drinking here? Why did I just get poured?
My English brown.
John's English Brown.
Yum.
Yeah. It's like a fudgicle.
It's pronounced
It has
liquid
like
fudgicle.
Fudgicle.
It does have like a campfire-y taste.
That's
There's
the
oak in
oak. That's
That's the
in it.
oak? Oh.
Inspired by this man.
Ah,
All right.
Now you know what that tastes.
Yeah.
Kind of caramel, vanilla.
What's weird
Little
about
bit
me
of chocolate.
is that my palate always picks up all this stuff.
Yeah.
I have no idea
But
what the
you don't
hell
know
it
what
is.
to call
I don't
it.
know what it is. I'm always saying to you guys, what's that fuzzy thing that's in there?
It's really good with a frozen glass.
Yeah?
Like 35, 40 degrees. It's just like ice cream, liquid ice
Well,
cream.
and like unless you've tasted Britannomyces
Yeah.
beer and somebody told you that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because you've tasted it before. And you go,
Right.
I don't know
Right.
what that is.
Yeah,
And
you're right.
but as soon as they tell you what it is, you never forget it.
That's right. I've not forgotten since.
Now you know, chalk one up for oak.
All right. Now here we go. Beer bottle caps are being used as currency in parts of Cameroon, which is in the grips of a promotion frenzy by rival breweries. Intense competition between beer companies has seen 20 million bottles given away since the start of the year. The prizes, which are revealed beneath the bottle cap, include mobile phones, luxury cars, and of course more beer. With a beer costing $1, some punters are using their winning bottle caps to pay for taxi rides. Because I guess taxi rides in New Delhi are like $1, so you can turn in your $1 cap and get a beer. Virtually every consumer of beer in Cameroon has a chance of winning, says local journalist Martin Etange of the capital. Sometimes you go out just for a bottle and you find yourself coming back with 4 or 6 free bottles because of winning caps. A bottle of beer costs $1, and that's just over the cost of a township taxi drop. He says that 5 beer caps would be enough to cover someone's taxi expenses for a whole day. Taxi drivers are also using the caps, this is good, in their fishy deals with the traffic police. So they can get off by driving, they can get off by giving 1 or 2 caps to the officers.
Get out of jail free card.
Yeah. He says Cameroon traditionally has one of the highest levels of alcohol consumption in Africa, and authorities have not expressed concern about the current trend. Good. Nobody seems to be worried about the health implications, he says. The government is saying nothing about it, but people are certainly drinking more than before.
So they're all healthy.
Yeah, they're all really healthy if you ask me. Good for you. But if you ask them, they're not doing so good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a caller.
We got a caller, which means you're going to have to consume half a pint.
Half of what I have or half a pint?
Let me get him on the phone here.
Hey, I helped install that phone line. Does that give me the right to unplug it?
No, sir.
Okay.
Caller, you're on the air.
Oops, I tripped.
All right.
Who are we talking
I just wanted to, this is Wichita Brewer from the chat room. Just wanted to put out a little shout out to my my boys out there and call in to get you guys drinking some more.
Sorry about the weird buzz you guys are getting, listeners. Sometimes we get weird stuff happening out of here. Nothing I can do about it. We're going to have to bear with it.
Thanks for calling.
All right, so now we got to drink half a pint. I appreciate that. And where are you at again?
Wichita, Kansas.
All right, so shout out to Wichita, Kansas, and then to your friends in the chat room there, too.
Chug.
And anything else you want to say before I drop you?
Drop me.
All right, thanks for calling.
Maybe I'll call back a little later to get you guys drinking some more.
No drop.
All right, that sounds good. Do you want to stay on the phone and make sure that we drink our half a pint right now?
That's all right. I'll hear you.
Or that, or you could cheer us on as we're
just
chugging it
cheer
down.
us on at home.
Yeah, come on, guys.
All right.
Do it. Go team.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
All right. Okay, half a pint, everybody. Here you go.
This is too good a beer to pound. I'm pounding.
Oh, you guys are slow.
Okay. Here's my half a pint.
I started there.
I started up here.
I started here.
And Daniela's checking. She's making sure.
Hey,
I
Matt,
started up here.
Matt, I'm really, really sorry.
You are a lying
give you a heads
cow.
up on
All right,
this
I'll
one.
drink more. What do you want to drink all of it? Because that will be
You never talked to me
3/4
again?
of a pint.
No, he only has to drink. He only has to drink 8 ounces of it. Right.
I can't wait till our hop chemistry,
There.
the talk.
Now I'm ahead of you guys with 3/4 of a pint.
Yeah, good for you.
And good thing the segment's over. I've consumed my 3 pints. We're allowed to take a break now. Johnny P. You've only done
head's
2.
on the
haven't you?
counter.
2.5, man.
2.5?
Yeah.
So you only got to do a half right now before I take a break, because I'm not going to let you slide.
Thanks.
Oh man, am I going to be full? All right.
Let's measure that gut.
I shouldn't have brought this beer. I'm untapping this beer.
You should have brought a light one. Oh, and the burps are going to be abound on the microphones today, too, kids.
You know,
All right,
you actually said excuse me on 1 or 2 of them.
I know, that's weird, huh?
Yeah, that caught my ear.
All right, here's what we're going to do. John's going to finish his half a pint. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to start our discussion with Matt, which is going to be simultaneously about Firestone Walker and hop chemistry and your history as a brewer and whatever the questions we get from the chat room and callers, etc. So we've got Matt from Firestone Walker Brewing Company. Go to the chat room if you want to ask questions or call 888-401-BEER. All right?
You like that one?
That was pretty good, John. We'll be right back. Probably 2-song break. Here we go.
You're listening to the Brewing Network.
Wrong button.
Hey, I love the boss, by the way.
I was supposed to press this one.
Do it again.
The Brewing Network.
That's what happens when you
Saving your life. One beer at a time.
Oi! It's for you, John.
Oi! Oi! Yeah!
I pressed the intro again. Let's just start over. Why not?
Welcome to the Brewing Network.
All right, we are back. We're back without Dr. Scott for the moment. He had a bit of an emergency to take care of. And I don't think it was that he peed his pants.
No.
Yeah.
It was dental.
Oh.
Yeah, he had a toothache.
Told you, he really is a doctor.
Yes.
He has to do stuff. All right, we got a caller, which you guys know what that means. Half a pint. Oh, that's funny, Matt. That's exactly what you have. All right, let me get him on the air, and then we'll see what the caller's calling for. Hello, you're on the air.
Justin, I just want to thank you so much for putting up those archives.
Oh, you're welcome. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Brooklyn.
Okay, nice. A little New York action.
Sweet. Yeah, I flew, I hate flying, and I had an hour flight today, and I put on that second show I think you guys did on the East, and so I wasn't even thinking about flying. I was just listening.
Oh, man.
I was cracking up, and everybody next to me just thought it was crazy.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm actually really excited about that. I'm glad you got to download some stuff and listen to it then.
And because usually when I'm listening to the show, it's my Sunday night and I'm drinking, so now I can actually listen to the shows, and I learned so much. Now I can listen to the shows and take notes and be sober for some of the time during the week instead of getting wasted with you guys on Sunday nights.
Oh, that totally makes sense. That's funny you say that, because I was thinking about it myself the other day. I'm in here, and I have access to all these brewers coming in, and we have these great discussions, and we're talking about all sorts of stuff, and I don't get to absorb much of any of it, because I'm reading through questions, and I'm listening, and I'm getting ready for the next question, and I'm trying to run all this stuff, and it's not until I listen to the show afterward that I get anything out of it. So, just as a warning, Matt, I won't hear a word you say today.
That will be just fine.
So cool, yeah, now you guys can download them and take it with you and get to learn something now. But don't stop, hanging out and getting drunk with us on Sundays then.
Hey, it works.
No, I can get more drunk, because now I know that's all week.
All right, cool. Man, I gotta fix the phone. We're getting weird buzz in here. I don't know what I did to it. Something, though. I'll try to fix it at the next break.
Someone might have tweaked the line outside or something.
Well, we gotta drink half a pint because you called too.
Yeah, do I have to drink half a pint?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do too. He's like, oh, damn.
Damn.
All right, I'm gonna drink it right while you're on the air, so hang on a sec. We're drinking.
I'm working on it, honey. Where's Dr. Scott? He had 3 pints before we even started the show.
Okay,
so
there you go.
He's
half
got credit
pint.
going.
Are you still going, Brooklyn?
I'm still drinking.
I'm laughing.
My brother's out in New York, but he's not as cool as you are because he's in Poughkeepsie.
Poughkeepsie? It's beautiful up there, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's not cool like Brooklyn. Yeah, it's nice though. He goes to Culinary Institute of America out there. I'm gonna have him come in one time for a show and do beer recipes with us.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, he's a good cook or chef, whatever you're supposed to call him. I call him a cake bacon pansy myself. If you go to culinary school,
what are you?
Pretty much the same.
Depends on which forum you're reading.
Yeah, exactly.
I just started smoking meat as I'm brewing the beer now, because I'm sitting outdoors for 8-9 hours a day. So I realized got a smoker, and I just.
Nice.
I'm kind of a pansy in that sense, too, because I love to smoke some meat and make some good food while I'm sitting outdoors brewing.
No, smoking meat is fine. You're allowed to smoke meat, and that's not pansy at all. If you're baking meat, now you're a pansy. So, if you're smoking it and you, let's say, I don't know if you've done this yet, but when you put your hickory chips or whatever in your smoker,
right?
Marinate them in beer first.
Okay.
Yeah, no, take your hickory chips like the day that you're planning to smoke. So let's say the morning of, and just pour a bunch of the chips, that you're going to put in there in a bowl, and throw some, like Guinness works awesome, cause then it'll add to that smoky taste, or a nice pale ale or an IPA, whatever. It really doesn't matter. But actually marinate them. Pour the beer in there, cover it up, stick it in your fridge for a couple hours,
Right,
and then
pour out wet down with beer.
Yes, exactly.
Nice.
And then stick it in your smoker.
Nice.
Now you're going to get some good meat out of that.
A little homebrew smoked.
Yeah. And just because we're talking about meat on the show doesn't mean anything.
Not at all. We're those beer pals.
All right, Brooklyn, thanks for the call.
Thank you so much.
We'll catch you later. Man, what's up with the phone? I hope everybody got to hear that. It was really a weird
Well, that
sound
just traveled 3,000 miles.
Yeah. No, but it's the system in here. It was working fine last week. I'll get to work on it. We'll see if I can fix it by the next
It worked.
segment.
We understood.
And we got to drink half a pint. Doc, you're behind a half a pint. We got a caller.
I'm
You got
ahead of you.
You got credit.
Hey,
I defended
don't care.
you, Doc. You got credit. So
Exactly.
You're okay.
No, the rules are caller, half a pint. I
don't have half a pint.
Get up.
Well, I mean, here's what's that about?
We have 4 kegs in here,
Is that
Doc.
about a quarter?
5 kegs.
Is that about a quarter pint?
No, it's like an eighth of a pint. What's wrong with you? You see, that's what you do, Doc. You go all gung-ho in the beginning like I'm the man, and then when it comes down to brass tacks, you're like, oh, come on, I'm ahead of the game.
No, I just wanted to do the math, so, I could finish that, and then I'll buck up here.
It's
no
time
problem.
for a field sobriety test to see where he's really at.
Yeah, that's a good.
Oh, I just went to the store. I first should have asked you guys if you needed anything.
That's where you were?
Jeez.
Thanks, Doc.
Thanks, Doc.
All right. If you want to call and make us drink half a pint or just to say hi, it's 888-401-BEER. I think Danielle is answering the phone right now. In the meantime, let's get into Matt from Firestone Walker Brewing Company.
Yeah, how'd you get started, Matt? Let's tell us about that.
I was born and raised in Minnesota, which I'm not so sure that's known as a beer drinking state necessarily, but did college in Michigan. Minnesota? Minnesota.
Yeah.
And in Kalamazoo, Michigan, home of Bell's Fine Ales, Kalamazoo Brewing Company.
Oh, yeah.
So while I was going to school, I was exposed to some really nice craft brewing. And never worked there, but my first job out of college after I got my organic chemistry degree was working for Kalamazoo Spice Extraction Company. And that was where I was put into the hops division and started a job as a hop chemist for that company.
Okay.
Now, what does a hop chemist do?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
That company actually did spice extractions, essential oils, all sorts of different things, but happened to have a division that did hop extracts. Then they would do some synthesis in some cases to make light, stable hop extracts.
Mm-hmm.
They would create hop oils for post-fermentation oil additions to beers. They did straight iso-alpha acids minus the oils. And in any case, they could manipulate a hop from a chemistry standpoint.
Get all the good stuff out.
Yeah, predominantly used by European brewers, but also by some of the majors here in the United States.
Is that the oils or actual true hops?
We would bring in whole leaf hops. We would actually bring them in, go through a pelletizing process, then go through an extractor. Typically, liquid CO2 was the medium used for extraction, which is a great medium for extraction. Separate the oils away from the resins and play with each of them for the products, whatever the brewer wanted. Any beer that's in a clear glass bottle here in the United States that doesn't go skunky is using some type of synthesized
That's
hop.
what I was going to ask you. It's purported that Newcastle uses hop extracts because they have to have the
clear glass,
the clear glass because it's product recognition, and it's purported that they use hop extracts. Otherwise, they get skunky beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not at all.
Our claim to fame was that we could actually sell off the alpha, take the beta acids, which was considered to be unusable in the brewing process, and synthesize those into a usable hop extract known as Tetra.
Yeah.
And what does beta acids add to a beer?
Typically, beta is insoluble.
Yeah, you don't really want those, and
Okay.
they're usually harsher. And
Is that what you leave behind in the boil?
That would be something that's not typically soluble in aqueous solution, wouldn't end up in your finished product. However, as hops age over time, beta acids do oxidize into other compounds that become soluble and also somewhat bitter.
Okay.
And are sometimes fingered as being part of the astringent character of some beers made with older hops.
So it kind of comes along with the whole equation. If you're throwing hops in there, you're going to get some beta.
Sure.
And
Sure.
Beta,
Would that be like
beta means
would
bad.
that be like a grassy flavor you sometimes taste in the beer, or
Not necessarily.
No.
Probably in most cases
What's the
it would
flavor?
be, you would not recognize it in the finished product.
Interesting. Does it settle out over time in fermentation?
I mean, that's
fermentation.
The F word.
Yeah.
No, I think he's saying it mostly shows up more in older beers that aren't aging well, and it
would be an oxidized side
An
product, so it
oxidized
wouldn't even be
side
recognized as beta.
Okay.
I think in most cases beta would be in such trace levels that it would be, hard to find even via HPLC or other
because it's not carried over.
Right. Insoluble.
It's insoluble,
So we could take this, this thing that was considered useless in the brewing process, turn it into a usable bittering agent that was also light stable. But you know what? That's kind of boring information because as interesting it was from a chemistry standpoint, I wanted to be a brewer, and I was somewhat possessed. I was brewing 3 or 4 days a week in my garage. I had a 1-barrel system. I may be one of the only home brewers in Michigan that was actually served papers by the BATF asking me to report my alcohol. And I think somebody probably turned me in because I was supplying quite a few parties in the greater Kalamazoo region.
There you go.
But
wow, and how did that, tell me the story about that. So you're there.
I fully ignored it and moved. No, I'm just kidding.
Nice.
Nothing became of it.
But you actually got served notice to report.
Yeah, somewhere in my scrapbook, I've got a nice piece of paper.
Who are you living with?
Other home brewers.
No, but you're a home brewer, but you're other adults in the house.
Correct.
100 gallons per year per adult.
Yeah, we were clearly over that level.
Yeah,
no, I'm trying to do the math here.
We're over.
Don't try,
200 gallons a year, right?
Don't try.
So, in any case, I stayed with that firm for 3 years doing hop chemistry, mostly lab rat type activities. And they made the mistake of sending me off to the Siebel Institute of Brewing Technology for a brewing education so that I could interface with our customers a little bit better.
Right. How long did you go there for?
At that particular time, I only went to Chicago for a couple of weeks for a short course. Okay. But it gave me the taste of brewing. I met a lot of other brewers, both craft brewers that were in the industry for a while, international brewers, and I was sold. I needed to get into the brewing industry. I had no idea I could actually make a living making beer. So,
how long did you go back to the chem company then before
pretty
you said
much
I'm out?
Promptly put in my resignation and started shopping.
Thanks for buying me my beer education. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Nice work, man.
Yeah. I'm still on talking terms with those folks.
Yeah. They're
proud of me. They're proud of me.
You could have milked them for the long course.
Yeah. They understood. They weren't pissed about the whole deal?
No.
No.
But in any case,
good beer. Yeah.
So it was a fortuitous timing as well. The microbrew industry was really heating up. This is in the mid-'90s.
Okay.
And I was picked up by Goose Island Beer Company, who is pretty much the sole craft brewer in the Chicagoland area.
Okay.
And so I started there just as an entry-level position. They're growing very quickly, and in a very short amount of time, I was named head brewer of that facility.
How long were you there for?
I was at Goose Island shy of 5 years, somewhere between 4 or 5 years.
Nice.
And I think what really gave me the edge, I think a lot of craft brewers come to the industry, they're home brewers who decide that they'd like to take the leap. It's not for money, it's typically for passion of beer and other things. But I had a lab background, and a lot of these growing craft breweries needed a lab. And although my background wasn't microbiology per se, it came very easily. And so my niche and my segue into the industry was through the lab. So I set up a lab there that helped us in our quality control efforts. The brewery grew quite rapidly, and then I got the call to come to California, originally for the Slow Brewing Company in Paso Robles at that time.
Okay.
And spent about a year with Slow Brewing Company, and then in July of 2001, Firestone Walker Brewing Company purchased the production facility in Paso Robles.
They actually bought out Slow?
Yeah, they bought out the production facility, not the name or anything to do with the recipes, just simply the production facility.
They bought the kitchen.
They bought the kitchen.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And Firestone was kind enough to ask me to stay on as their brewmaster.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the rest is history.
They probably knew you made a good beer.
I don't know.
They had nobody else.
Well, I'm going to give you...
If I was to buy a brewery, I'd make sure the brewer could go,
it was an excellent thing for Firestone. It was great for both parties. Slow wanted to get out of the bottling and kegging business, and somebody came in, bought the facility that had, obviously some good financial backing, the Firestone family. A lot of experience in winemaking for 30 years, so a lot of experience in the alcohol business.
And tires.
And then Firestone, and tires as well,
right.
Vulcanization of rubber and things of this nature. And then, but then walked into a facility, and rather than having to build a new facility and work all the kinks out of that facility, a whole brewing team, an active brewery that already was operating, and just turn the key.
How many times we hear that, the owners know nothing about brewing. And it's such a smart thing to do. You got the machine ready. You got the guy that knows how to brew beer. He's doing a great job.
Yeah.
You'd be an idiot to not keep this going and keep the people there.
I haven't worked for a lot of breweries, and I think it's often thought, and there are probably quite a few breweries where the owners don't know a lot about the process, but this is not the case with this outfit.
Okay.
Adam Firestone, who is would be the great-grandson of Harvey Firestone, the guy who invented vulcanized rubber, but very active in the company, very aware of how production runs, very aware of the raw materials and what makes a good beer, and very passionate, not about making extreme beers or trying to make his mark in this industry by doing something flashy or something...
Cutting edge.
No,
he wants to make good beer.
I mean, he vocalized that he wants to stay right down the middle. He wants to make very few beers very well, and he wants to spend the money necessary to build in. And he knows enough to know that in our game, stability is a huge product.
There's survival.
I think pretty much every craft brewer out there makes a great beer
right.
and has made a great beer. But whether or not he can put it in a bottle or put it in a keg and get it out to the consumer
and keep it that way.
And 3 months later, you taste it as the consumer and you say, wow, that's a great beer.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting you mentioned that. Vinny was in here talking about that last week too.
IPAs.
Mentioning that he'd love to bottle his IPAs and distribute them, but he won't do it until he knows that the end product, the end user is going to get as good as it is when he sells it in his brew pub. And until then, he won't do it. And you're right about that. It is a different story when you start shipping it across the country or whatever else.
But on the flip side, he has to bottle his Belgians.
Yeah.
Just to make them good.
Yeah.
And
that's
so
right.
he's running both sides of the fence on that one.
Yeah.
Well, Vinny's been around long enough to realize that was a great way to put his first foot forward and get those beers out, and those beers have legs, and stylistically they do well, but with age.
Yes.
Firestone makes a lot of products that are, pale ales, hoppy beers, right down the middle, and their shelf stability is always the worst, actually. It's counterintuitive, but hoppy beers with all that hop oil is the first thing to oxidize, and it's the first thing you'll notice in an IPA or a pale ale that's got a little age on it. It starts going very quickly, and it's no longer that fresh beer that you're used to having.
I got to interrupt for just 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
This is good.
The phone's been ringing off the hook.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can hear it.
Anybody answering that?
It's getting answered. Something's going on with our phone system where half the time they're picking it up and they can't hear somebody on the other end. But we at least owe a half a pint.
Does that count?
It counts.
Oh, damn.
Matt did get through, and now somebody's on right now. Is that Matt there? Does he want to get on the air here? Hey, Matt, are you there?
I'm here.
See, how come the phone works with him now? Maybe it's just weird long-distance stuff happening.
Yeah, I'm local. I don't know.
Huh. Hey,
anyway,
so you call him just to make us drink?
Well, the boys and girls, I don't know who, Anyway.
Yeah, I got you.
Time for you boys to have a drink.
See?
Thanks,
Get
Matt.
to it. Get to work.
All right.
See, John tried to do a cover-up. He's like, oh, no, wait, we're having a good discussion. We can't stop. And I'm like, no.
I got to keep it focused.
That's not how it works.
Focus
That's
on
right.
good beer.
Rules are rules. If the phone rings, you got to drink.
Wait. I'm
That's
defending.
right.
Hey, come on. Screw Beer Pal. This is a good show.
And everyone should understand that I was not informed that this was the drinking show. They lured me up here to talk about something serious.
Well,
and then proceeded to tell me that we were getting drunk and I better pick my couch.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why, Matt, because you're very well respected. So
screw that, John. We got to talk about that. I said, tell the guy it's the drunken show.
I told him we'd be drinking during the show.
That's different. And by the way, I like
it's above and beyond. We have a mission.
I like where John's going with this. From now on, Matt, we're going to refer to you as Beer Pal. And where did Nate go with my pint? I gave him my glass. I said, pour me a pale ale, and he left the room.
We killed the pail.
Oh, gotcha.
First keg.
No, I don't want
the last
that.
bit of.
Let me drink that. That'll do a half pint because I chugged the bottom up when I heard the phone ring before.
We're gonna tap the show with Firestone.
Do we have to drink? Are we drinking now?
You got to drink half a pint for the phone call.
Well, I was dealing with your pail there, and I missed a lot of that. So.
Well, you still got to drink half a pint. I'll drink with you because I didn't drink mine either.
Clinkies, baby.
There you go. Hope you can hear him. John's got to get one poured for him.
I just drink mine, man.
Done.
This is the time that dead air is acceptable.
Yes.
If you're chugging beer, it's totally acceptable.
We need to bust into some Firestone.
Yeah, we're going to break into the Firestone Walker.
I'm breaking into
right
now, all right? I'm breaking into it.
You owe us half a pint. Did you
I
drink
just
it?
drink my half pint.
All right. Hey, Beer Pal.
Oh, man. Yeah, what?
Thanks for the call.
Hey, I didn't ask for a growler.
We'll see you later.
All right, bye.
All right.
Wait, what is that?
I got lots of questions. I got weird things. What is this? Okay, I got some questions from the forum.
Firestone.
I got some questions I want to field to you, Matt. But first, I want to tell a quick story about how I got to know about Firestone because I think it's a good story that you might appreciate. Daniela and I had some friends visit us from Germany. And he was on the show. He was on our very first show. And this particular friend, the only beer that he drinks in Germany is Helles. He loves Helles. It's all he'll drink. He doesn't really like... I got him into ales a little bit, but it had to be a really special beer for him to like it. Because they obviously brew the best Helles on the planet in Germany. And he loved this stuff. All right? So I get him out here. He's all excited that I actually have a kegerator in my house. That's something you don't have in Germany because you can just go next door and there's a bar, right? So he's all excited. I call up John. I say, John, I got my friend coming from Germany. All he drinks is Helles. You got someone on the phone, Daniela? Yes. Keep him on hold. You're going to be on hold for just a second. You can hang it up. Go ahead. All he drinks is Helles, John. I need a good beer. What do you got? And he goes off this list and he says, well, I got this Firestone Lager. So it's probably, it's really good. I think he's going to like it. And I never heard of it, to be quite honest. I've never heard of Firestone in my life. So I go, okay, I'll try it. As long as it's not like those SUV tires, it'll probably be pretty good, right? So I bring it in, and it's the first night that the German kid's here, and takes a couple drinks, goes nuts for the stuff, man.
Yeah. Nice.
He and I'm telling you, he comes from a place. He drinks a beer called Augustiner, one of the best beers I've ever had in my life. It's amazing, and he drinks it, and he goes, "That is a damn good thing." And for the rest of the time, that's all he wanted me to replace in the kegerator. He's like, I was like, well, what do you want to get now? I don't know. Why don't you get more Firestone? So just a little props, and it was just an awesome lager.
Yeah.
So Firestone Lager, if you can find it, where would they find it? Anybody?
Only here in California.
It's only California, Bevmo. Okay. In bottles
and draft.
Draft. Okay. It is a damn good lager.
I stock that too.
And I'm not
And
blowing
what
smoke
style
up
lager would you
anybody's-
call that?
Well, it is brewed up after the Helles, and somewhat because of our water situation and what we're doing in
Very
Paso,
soft,
but
yeah.
just also because of the yeast we're using, it's a maltier beer. And if anyone's interested in what the recipe is, it's very simple. It's predominantly, it's 90% two-row pale. It has a charge of Munich and just a little bit of Briess Carapils. And that builds in a little bit of body, but it's 100% Czech Saaz all the way through.
Okay.
I could go with Hallertau. I like Hallertau and Helles as well, but in this particular case, we were asked to brew more of a Pilsner style. And to be honest with you,
yeah.
What White Lab strain would they use?
It's I don't know the numbers, but it's essentially Weinsteffen Pilsner yeast is what it is.
Pilsner lager. Okay.
You know the number for that, John, off your top of your head?
800 something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me get this caller on the air.
Yeah.
Oh.
Caller, you're on
Vinny
the air.
had the list last week. You should have left.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
How you doing?
Good. It's Halifax Nick.
Oh, Halifax, what's happening?
Hey.
Hey, don't call because you're waiting for your shirt. It's in the mail, damn it.
Right,
you
man.
actually mailed things to people?
I'm patient. I got my other one.
You did? Oh, good.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hey.
Listen, I got a question there. Have you figured out how to patch and pump up the Firestone if it goes flat?
Patch Firestone if it goes flat. Oh, man. If it's going to be tire jokes on that.
Yes. Do you get that often, Matt?
No, actually. You started this.
I'm glad. We're going to keep it going here.
What number are you guys on anyways?
What's that?
I want to hear numbers. What number are you guys on?
I'm on 4.5.
I'm on 4.
John's on 4. Doc, you got to be on. Doc's on 5.
Matt's on 4.
Like 5.5.
I'm falling behind.
5.5.
Firestone's dropping out of the runnings.
Hey, he makes a living off of beer.
I don't care.
I do.
I told him when he...
pump up the Firestone.
Yeah, I know. It's right. Firestone's going flat already.
He gets a handicap because I didn't warn him, so.
Hey, your SUV's rolling over there, Matt.
Yeah.
I told Matt when he got here, I said, I know you don't know about this, but it's actually the Drunken Show.
Our first one ever.
You can choose to participate with us. That would be cool. And if you don't, that's fine too.
I'm on number 3.
But we're gonna make fun of you.
Well, I'm at least a 3.
Okay.
Oh, wait. You called in, so you have to chug half a one.
I've got about a half left, but I want to hear the mics up to the Adam's apples, eh?
Okay.
Oh, okay, wait. Okay.
Let me
There's
do
got to
it.
be proof here.
All right.
Due diligence. Come on.
Here we go. Half a chug. You got to chug half pint. Mike's up to the Adam.
All right.
I'm done.
Tasty at the beverage.
That was swell.
Wow.
Let's do that again.
No.
What kind of beer was that?
Couple of all-around guys, eh?
That was the Firestone.
Which one?
That was
nice.
That was 100% off the oak barrels. That's 100% oak fermented double barrel. Ale.
I think I got some splinters in my
I
tongue.
wish I didn't have to chug that. It was really good. I got IPA. A Firestone IPA?
Yeah.
Tell me about that, because it's really not like any other IPA.
It's actually it's produced by our brewery, Firestone Walker, of course, but it's sold under the Nectar Ales label, Nectar IPA.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's got like
And,
it definitely has a I don't know if it's flowery or fruity something in there.
It's aggressively dry hopped. It's heavily whirlpool hopped, and it's actually the beer that's probably done the best for us in competition. It's taken gold
Okay.
both at World Beer Cup and GABF.
Nice.
Well, I think because it's so different. And I think that's why I got his attention too.
That's a good, it's very different.
It's not just all hops up front. There's a lot of florals in it. The malt backs it up really well.
What's interesting about that beer is they came to us with the Nectar Ales line early on, and they wanted to do. They had a lot of demand for their winter nectar, which is essentially red nectar, only higher gravity, higher hopped. So it was essentially the same beer, just bigger. And they said, well, we want to call it IPA and go year-round. And I was like, well, I don't want to do the same formulation, but we kept a lot of the elements. We kept the malty end of it.
Okay.
And that allowed us to go very heavy in the hopping and keep a very balanced beer.
Yeah, I think that's where I can get that sweetness out of it, because it's just not it's not like a super hop beer.
Well, commercially, I don't think I'd call it a IPA. If I was commercial, I would want to call somebody's attention to it to be something different, because it's killer beer.
What would you call it? You wouldn't call it a pale.
No, I wouldn't. No, it's not even.
It's past that.
It leads you to a good point, though. There's a lot of breweries that have been very wise not to name their beers after the style that they're trying to replicate or not.
Right. They just have a title for the beer. Like,
because if I was gonna, I want an IPA, and I'd try that one, and it wouldn't be, but I'd dig it. But if I was looking for something different, I didn't want another damn IPA.
It's interesting when we compete here in the United States with U.S. judges, they seem to overlook the color and the malty side of it. But if you go international,
that's not an IPA color.
Yeah, you go international, they say it's too dark right off the bat.
Too dark. It's too red.
Yeah. I want to make a marker right now on the show.
I like
Halifax. I know you're still there, by the way. So just hang on.
Oh wait, are you drinking with us?
I want.
What are you drinking?
Hang on.
Well, Doc's ready to go.
He's ready to go.
Damn.
All these questions.
Hey, you control the master volume over there, buddy.
No, I'm going to turn you down in a second.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Hey, I'm going to 11.
This is an important...
I have a question for Matt, too. But
God damn it.
Well, who said you're in charge?
He is in charge.
The mute button. There you go. I've just muted everybody but myself. This is an important marker in the Brewing Network. That's why you've all been muted, you bastards. I'm officially feeling the effects of alcohol for the first time on a live show. So that's what I wanted to say. This is an important milestone for the Brewing Network. Throughout the whole thing, I've stayed sober and calm and made fun of you guys for being drunk. And now I'm officially feeling the effects. So I just wanted to make that note, and now we can get Officer X back into the room and start doing sobriety tests very soon.
Welcome.
Now you may have your microphones back. And Doc,
thank you. I have a question.
Go ahead.
Is oak a preservative for beer?
That's interesting. We have no data to prove or disprove that. However, it's well known that tannins, which are also polyphenols, are active antioxidants. And there's probably somebody in the wine industry who could speak a little better to that. In beer, it's kind of a two-way street. I mean, we're utilizing oak for that. We're really looking for the flavor out of the oak barrels in our process. We're looking for that surface area in a barrel. Obviously, a barrel has a lot more surface area.
What is the size of your barrel? How many gallons?
They're about 65 gallons a piece.
Oh, I got a question.
And how many
barrels? Are they new barrels? Are they used barrels?
Brand new American oak, and we do a heavy plus.
I've got a
heavy
question
plus
about oak,
toast.
guys.
Okay.
Heavy plus
really?
toast. And
do you rotate them each year?
I mean, to take a step back, the reason why Firestone's using barrels, it's kind of it mostly comes from the wine side of the business. The Firestones had the winery. They knew that oak could play an important part in beers and didn't understand why anybody wasn't using new oak character in their beers. Mm-hmm. But when they first started out, they thought, well, maybe we can get away with using some wine barrels. That doesn't work microbiologically speaking. And then they looked at what was happening in Burton-on-Trent with the Burton Union system.
Right. And that's what Firestone does, Burton-on.
Yeah, it's essentially it's a Burton Union system, so it's multiple barrels linked together to do a fermentation. It's
that's the F word, by the way.
Oh yeah.
That means drink. If you're at home, every time we say the two F words, ferment or fermentation, you have to drink.
Oak from now on. We'll know.
We'll talk about oak.
Yeah.
And
I got a question about oak.
Yes.
Do it.
All right. There's a barrel here. It's 250 liters. I could fill it, whatever. But it's an old wine barrel. Can I use that for brewing?
Our experience is that, microbiologically speaking, a wine barrel is very unstable with all the wild yeast and everything that's in it. However, I believe that you could probably make a very interesting beer. I think you probably spoke to Vinny.
Like an old ale.
Yeah, I would suggest making Belgians first and foremost.
Yeah.
Okay, lambic with some Brett.
What kind of wine was in it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just posted on the.
Is the inside of it red?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. Well, you'll know right off the bat because the inside of a wine barrel will stain if it's a Cab or a Merlot or a Pinot or something of a red beer. And you absolutely can smell it. Yeah. It also might have been a champagne barrel too. If it doesn't have any of those colors, it might not just have been wine. It could have been champagne. Yeah. In which case, if it is, you can brew an awesome Belgian type of ale or a saison or something like that. If it's red, you could go for even a strong ale. It doesn't have to be just a regular Belgian. You could go for a high gravity strong ale. Drake's was in here with some of those. He did one out of a I think a Pinot barrel that just came out awesome because it covers up the flavors of the alcohol you're going to get with your strong ale with some wine. Yeah. So just a couple suggestions from guests that we've had in the show.
It's only $50.
Oh, really?
That's a deal.
That's it.
250 liters.
That's a great deal.
Well, how does a pro brewery like Firestone? I mean, the amount of volume that you're doing. How do you keep bread out of your oak barrels?
Hang on. Hey, Halifax, I'm gonna drop you. Is that cool?
Yeah, man. Good show, guys.
Hey, thanks for the call.
Talk to you again.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Halifax.
See ya.
All right.
So back to the barrels. I mean, we basically looked to what was going on in Burton-on-Trent. Bass was one of the largest breweries to use the Burton Union system. Currently, only Marston's in Burton-on-Trent it's the last brewery in the world using the traditional barrel fermentation systems. We're essentially copying what they did, and what they found over the course of, I have no idea how many years that it was in service, but 150 years, let's say. Hot water was the best way to clean, boiling hot water.
Well, okay.
So heat penetrates. A lot of winemakers will tell you that will strip some of the oak character out of the barrels. However, we're willing to part with some of that to get a very sterile or at least sanitary environment to brew under. And of course, when we do the union system, at this point we have 35 barrels in our union. Here you take beer from a perfectly good single fermenter, stainless steel, very clean environment, and move it into multiple barrels. I mean, the lab hates us for that because the lab has to go down and sample every single barrel and deem it.
How long is it in stainless?
Oh, gotcha.
We go 24 hours, so we'll brew a batch of beer in the brew house. We'll go into stainless steel, ferment, pitch the yeast, allow it to go to high Kreuzen or the peak of fermentation.
You actually pitch in stainless?
Pitch in stainless.
Okay.
And at 24 hours, there's not that much of a drop in degrees Plato or specific gravity.
Right.
However, the yeast has grown, so if we're pitching at 10 or 12 million cells per milliliter, we're up to 40 or 50 million cells per milliliter by 24 hours. We'll then move that fermentation into the barrels.
Okay.
Individual barrels. And we allow just the primary fermentation to be conducted in the barrels.
Right.
The yeast protects the beer or that fermenting wort from oxygen.
That was a lot of F words, by the way. If you're playing along at home, I think you have to drink twice or 3 times.
But why do you do stainless first? Is there a reason before just going straight from the...
That was always what was done in the UK, and I think for very good reasons. One, you have the protection. You can clean stainless so much better. Wort is so much more susceptible to infection than pitched wort.
Right.
Once you have yeast competing in that environment and they've grown to their max population, that wort is very well protected. Also, fermenting yeast consume all the oxygen in their environment. And obviously, an oak barrel is a very porous vessel.
Yeah.
So when you have a fermentation going, we always try to separate ourselves from other brewers that are using oak barrels. Obviously, a lot of breweries are using oak barrels. However, a lot of breweries are aging in oak barrels. We're fermenting in oak barrels. We're doing the entire primary fermentation. 7 days later, we push out of the oak, clean them, start it all over again.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Do you think you get micro-oxygenation in your barrels at all?
There has to be a little bit of oxygen that ingress into the barrels during that point in time, but the yeast consumes it all. We test the beer with dissolved oxygen meters, and there's no appreciable pickup as long as we get the beer out of those barrels while the yeast is still active.
So you've got a good enough lab that you can do that?
Yeah, it's hard
that's a nice lab to have.
Yeah, what are they doing exactly to your... What are they sampling in your barrels? What are they looking for?
If we're talking, the lab will come down and do a sterile sample from a barrel. So they'll take a sample back up to the lab, put it on a couple different medias, one that's grown aerobically to see if there's any kind of organisms that would grow in the presence of oxygen.
This is wild yeast?
Could be wild yeast, could be molds, could be other things. But an even more important test would be a test that's put on anaerobic media to see if there are spoilage organisms like Lactobacillus, Pediococcus, anything.
Right.
We don't see those things on a regular basis. If we were to see something, we would not only destroy the beer itself from that barrel, but we'd remove the barrel from the union
Wow.
and no longer use
Most
it.
likely, they probably got it from the barrel, which is.
It's tough to say.
It's tough to say where they got it from, but it's a good possibility.
There's
it's
obviously
the
a
wood.
lot more exposure when you're using oak barrels than if you're using a cleanable
So,
surface.
and as a commercial brewer, they just can't take the chance.
So it's interesting, back to the other question with the wine barrel. So this wine barrel, the winemaking process, there's so much more exposure. Most of these winemakers are producing their product in an open fermenter. They're punching down. They're looking for a lot of exposure. They obviously never boiled their grape juice before they fermented, so all the microflora from the field is in there. So that barrel then subsequently is, it's a zoo. There's a lot going on there.
A lot of funkiness.
So your scientists will actually say this barrel is no good. There's too much stuff happening. We can't.
What's interesting is
this.
the first organism. If any organism we see, we rarely see Lactobacillus or Pediococcus or any of the classic spoilage organisms. We'll see Enterobacter.
Okay.
Enterobacter is the first organism to take hold of a Belgian fermentation, a lambic or a spontaneous fermentation.
Okay.
We'll see that it's a airborne organism. It has no effect in beer. It can't live in an anaerobic environment. Doesn't live in an alcoholic environment. But if we see it, we remove the barrel anyway because it's a sign that there was some exposure.
Okay. All right, I want to get to some chat room questions. First thing I'm going to do is some preordained questions we've had. One of our longtime listeners, cool guy, helps us out quite a bit. Gucci Pilot, that's his handle. His name's Darren. I want to know something about his background. Hey, Darren, if you want to call in and make us drink half a pint, that'd be fine too.
Just to find out why you're called Gucci
Yeah,
Pilot.
just to find out, because he has a little picture of a plane every time
Yeah,
he comes to,
yeah.
and it's a big plane, so he's not just like some little like Cessna pilot either, I'm guessing. I think he's like, I don't know.
Well, if he's Gucci Pilot, maybe it's the Learjet.
He's in the military, Air Force.
And by the way, I think, he is?
Yes.
Oh, so do you know him personally?
He used
John?
to live in California. He shopped at More Beer in NorCal showroom.
Okay,
And he moved back to New Jersey.
Officer X is a pilot as well, so maybe they can get a little conversation going.
He's the highway patrol of the freeways.
How about that?
How do you breathalyze in the air?
All right. I didn't turn you on yet. You're going to have to hang on a
I
second.
had to ask.
Let me do some questions real quick. So this is from Gucci Pilot. Darren, he's in the chat room, probably. I imagine he usually is. Okay. What's your opinion, now this is all for you, Matt, on the use of hop pellets or whole pellets in your brewing? And you could answer that in terms of home brewing as well, because a lot of these guys are doing that. All of these guys do.
Pellets or whole leaf is what you're talking about.
Yes.
No.
No, pellets versus whole leaf.
Versus whole leaf.
Yes.
Yeah.
At our level in the craft brewing industry, we're a medium-sized craft brewer. Our equipment is all geared towards pellets. In our process, pellets are the only thing that makes sense. I mean, we could use whole leaf in a dry hopping situation. We could use a small amount of whole leaf, but straight up our system, it has no hop back, so we can't really use whole leaf. So
okay.
That's what we would utilize. But I would go so far as to say that I would prefer pellets, and having been a hop chemist, there's some good reason for that. These hops are grown in the field, harvested at their peak, and in the process of pelletizing, they're ground up, put in an inert package, and frozen.
Right.
And that freshness is captured at that point. Whole leaf, if you buy them very soon after they're harvested, they're at their peak, and then as the year progresses, they're oxidizing. That bale of hops has a lot of exposure.
A lot of
Can they still oxidize frozen?
Well, obviously, the colder the temperature, the slower those processes, but they have been exposed and they haven't had that oxygen removed from their environment. Now, there are available these days some purged or vacuum-packed whole leaf, and those certainly would hold up longer.
Okay. But we're talking surface area is the main gig.
Mm-hmm. I was just worried for the outer. You're worried for the outer layer of the.
Well, it's all surface. If you pick up a pound of leaf hops, it's a huge thing. It weighs nothing, and a pound of pellet hops just weighs a ton. Because a little bit weighs a ton, and it's all compacted, so the stuff on the inside is not going to get the same exposure, and you're not going to get the oxidation problems with it. I was just at Anchor Brewing on Friday. All they do is leaf hops, and they looked at us funny when we talked about pellet hops, and they've got bathtubs full of hops. Yeah, a big snow shovel that they pull it out with.
They pick them themselves, don't they?
No, it doesn't look like that because they're all baled up in nice burlap bags and stuff. But they go through them so fast too. They're doing. They said 80,000 barrels now.
Yeah, they're a big brewery.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's big. Well, in contrast, Sierra Nevada is doing 600 now, which is just amazing. But if you're
they're another whole leaf user.
Yeah.
So I mean, there are breweries like Sierra, like Anchor, that are making excellent beers with whole leaf hops. So I'm not knocking it.
Right.
But you're talking about efficiency, basically.
Well,
efficiency. I think it has to do where you're coming from and what your mindset is and what you want to do.
But are pellets fresher though? Is that why you use them?
Well, and what I was going to get at is that, so as the year progresses, these pellets are staying in their pristine shape.
Okay.
And so what's very interesting is the Great American Beer Festival is held in the fall, just before hop harvest.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So those beers that are entered, those brewers haven't had the opportunities to use fresh hops, or if they did, just barely.
Yeah.
So most of the beers entered.
So the lighter beers are
and it's
getting
very
hosed.
interesting, the whole leaf hop brewers, typically in the hoppy beer categories, don't do as well as the pellet brewers.
Okay.
So in my mind, it's somewhat proof of this time issue.
Okay.
However, the other thing about pellets is that they've gone through this hammer mill, all of the lupulin glands have been ruptured, all the oils are exposed, all the resins are exposed. So it takes a smaller amount of those pellets to get the same effect as a larger amount of whole leaf.
So we talked about that a few weeks ago about yield too on your alpha acids and your bittering.
Well, and then when you go to dry hopping again, a small amount of pellets with all that lupulin gland ruptured and all that oil exposed is going to give you a much bigger effect, and the amount of contact time that those pellets have to be in exposure with the beer is shorter relative
Right,
to
there,
whole
because
leaf.
it's cold when you're dry hopping.
So if you give me a beer, most of the time I can tell you what you dry hopped it with, because if you had
pellet
to use,
or whole?
Yeah, because if you used whole leaf, I tend to get a more grassy herbal character. to
more
it.
leaf instead of lupulin gland.
Yeah, and if you left them exposed long enough to get the oil content, you also took up some of that plant material as well.
Okay.
The other thing to remember about when you pelletize a hop, you remove the stem, so you've removed some of the vegetative matter. So
the lumber.
Would that be astringency, or
it would be grassiness or just
okay.
vegetative.
Now, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I would have thought, I was going to ask, if in pellet hops, since they're grinding them up, my first instinct would be that you'd be losing some of the lupulin and some other things because you're just chopping it all up. But actually, what you're saying is you're bringing it out,
Well,
so
it's
it's
interesting.
more
There's
concentrated.
Two types of pellets on the market, what we call T90s, type 90s, which means that 90% of the plant material made it into the pellet. In other words, they pulled the stem out and everything else was pelletized.
Okay.
There's another type called T45, where they actually snap freeze the ground material, shake it on a screen, pick up the keef, which would be the lupulin gland portion, remove the vegetative matter, and pelletize only that keef, that lupulin gland material.
Yeah.
We don't have to drink if I say keef, do we?
No, but the last time I heard the word keef, there was a bong in front of me. I'll tell you that.
But you
now.
were in Amsterdam.
Yeah, but I was in Amsterdam,
it
and it was totally legal.
Absolutely. But it's the same process.
Right.
So they've removed the lupulin glands from the vegetative matter, and then pelletized that material, so you have even a more concentrated pellet.
Interesting.
I like concentrated
We'll get
pellets.
another call. I want to make a note here about John and Dr. Scott. Because during the Hangover show, I couldn't get these guys to say a word if I paid them. I was throwing bones all over the place. Help me out here, guys. And now they look at me like I'm blank stares across their face.
Yeah.
During the Drunken show, I can't get the two of them to shut up. There's a question over question, let the guy answer, all sorts of stuff.
Hey, we're just moving it along.
Yeah, we're curious. Yeah.
I got a caller, and you guys know what that means.
He's talking chemistry, and I just love that.
That's
Yeah.
good stuff.
You have
Hang
a
on, I'm
chemist
getting a
mind,
caller
Doc.
on the air. You're going to have to
You're
wait.
a chemist at heart.
All right. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's happening?
Darren or Gucci Pilot. How you guys doing?
Oh, there you are, Darren. I was hoping you were going to come
How's New
in.
Jersey?
Jersey. It's
Sticky.
it's it's Jersey. I miss California. I'll let you guys know that much.
Are you stationed there?
Yeah, I am stationed there now. I'm now at McGuire Air Force Base. So
Okay.
flying the same airplane, John.
What do you fly?
I fly the KC-10. It's basically the Air Force's version of the DC-10 with big gas tanks inside.
You know why I know the KC-10?
Why's that?
Because I'm a dork and I watch the Military and Wings channel all the time, and I watch like every airplane show that ever comes on television. And I know the KC-10, my friend.
Oh.
He's been there.
I'm a little stunned.
Is that the picture that you always post too then, right?
that
That's
is.
the
Yeah,
KC-10 right
sure
there.
is.
Are you waving out the window? I've seen the picture.
Yeah.
It's a nice picture.
Yeah, actually I'm pressing ham. All right. First things first.
Go for it.
I'm calling in, so
We got to
I
drink
mean,
half a
Dustin-
pint.
Oh, damn.
Damn it.
You know
I
what?
gotta
It just
pee.
so happens I have half a pint in front of me.
Me too.
All right.
Top notch.
Drink them up. Microphones to the Adam's apple.
While we're drinking, you got to tell us what you do for the military and what is your purpose. Like, what do you do?
Well, like I said, I'm
a
an
gas
Air
tanker.
Force pilot, and I refuel other aircrafts in the air. Other aircrafts. Well, I'm sober, and I said that. Actually, I just got back from.
Is there a plural to
Alaska,
aircrafts?
And if you guys read the B3 forum, I also threw on there about reviews of some of the micros I have up there, Glacier and Snow Goose, which is a good time.
Okay.
And I refueled some airplanes up there, and we also, since it's a DC-10, and we carry a crap load of cargo. So I'm still hoping to try to get over to see Osbur in September.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I want to hitch a
And I'm
ride for
swing
that.
through Travis, John, so I'm going to try to take some stuff and bring some stuff back as well.
When you come in, Travis? My father's there, so.
I'm hoping at the in the September. It's a DV mission, so
You should come to a show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on in.
Yeah, have him come
Yeah,
in.
I'm usually down for hours, like 20 hours. So.
Gotcha. No, that's all right. 20 hours is plenty of time for a drunken show.
You bet.
Hey,
He's got to fly back.
Do you brew for all the boys on the base or what?
Yeah, just like I did when I was in California.
Nice. So you're the most popular guy on base, aren't you?
Well, yeah, I've only been here in New Jersey for less than 6 months, but I've spent about 4 months in the desert, so there's
Okay.
no drinking out there. Very little brewing.
Gotcha.
What do you brew on?
I got a 1550, a brand new one.
Smoking.
Nice sculpture.
Where'd you get it from?
B3.
All right, John, you're being a douchebag.
Wait, I got a question. What do you ferment in?
Ferment?
I just want to say fermentation.
I wish I could ferment in a conical by fermenting conicals.
I need a refill. I
and I have
can't.
some questions about
drink.
secondary fermentation.
Okay.
With Matt, as a matter of fact.
Yeah,
Do it.
Go for it. Wow.
Hey, Matt, because I checked out your website and I've actually had some of your brews in California. I'm looking for some tips as a home brewer, what I could do when I enter my beers in the competitions, especially getting them prepped, getting a good clean taste in it, and I already force carbonate my beers, but I'm looking for some other things to make me as good as Jamil that the rest of the guys know on the forum.
We go through the same things when we enter beers in competition, and we obviously have quite a few runs that we can choose from, and 9 times out of 10, it's the freshest beer that wins. You put a bunch of beers in front of a judge, and one might be hoppier than the next, but the freshest flavor, the best presentation that way always seems to win, and I've judged at GABF enough to know that typically is the case. If your beer is free of obvious flaws, the freshest beer wins. So, just being really careful and transferring your beers from vessel to vessel, and then especially when you go to the bottle, whether you're doing a secondary fermentation in the bottle or you're counter pressure filling, purging all the air out of that vessel every time you do a transfer, and just trying to eliminate air pickup throughout the process, and waiting to bottle till right before the competition to make sure that you're giving the judge the freshest absolute product that you can give them. I think if you talk to a lot of guys who win a lot of competitions, at least in regular beer styles, I'm not talking about barley wines, Belgians, things like that. I can speak about straight ahead ales, English ales, lagers, things of that nature. It's the freshest beer that wins.
Sure.
Gucci, are you bottling from your keg?
Yeah, I sure am. I use the CFC.
Cool.
Okay, you do. I was going to ask because John.
Right after I get done fermenting, I usually go to a secondary fermenter.
Okay.
And then I send it to the keg.
Okay, and then you're using a counterflow to bottle.
Right.
Okay, because that's the other thing that you should definitely be doing to reduce oxygen and make sure it's fully carbonated and all the rest.
All my beers were bottled the week before they were due.
That's what you do?
Competitions, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I reached a good carbonation level that I liked to style, and then I filled them, and they were probably in the bottle like 2 weeks before they were actually tasted.
Okay.
So they were
Now,
fresh.
Doc's made a good point in the past about carbonation levels. For your beers that are going straight to competition, you might want to think about over-carbonating them slightly because they're going to sit on the guy's table. You know, first of all, you're putting it, you're going from your keg into the bottle already, and even if you're using a counterflow, you might lose a little bit there. And then they're being poured out into the glass, and then they're going to sit there. Like, say yours is the 5th beer to be tasted, or the 4th, whatever the deal may be. It's going to sit on that table. So for specifically the beer you're intending to send to competition, you might want to over-carbonate it just a little bit. So that way, by the time the guy gets to it, it's still got what you intended it to have.
They all swirl it to get the smell and the aroma to come up.
Yeah.
And that will take a lot of the carbonation out. And then once the carbonation's out, the mouthfeel drops out too.
Right. Now, with that said, John doesn't do that, and he wins competitions all the time. So it's just kind of a thing that you might.
He had a good year.
2006,
John had a
baby.
good year.
Oh, you know,
I'm hoping for.
I looked at what John brewed
for John.
Yeah,
John. He goes. Yeah, I've been brewing a while.
4 years.
You know, no. The last you got in this thing where he started brewing.
Well, I wanted to kick
he showed me
Jamil's
there was like 10 kegs in a row in the walk-in.
Yeah.
I'm like, you got a little time on your hands in the last couple of months.
Well, yes.
He brewed like a madman.
I had my heart broken. I decided to take it out on beer.
And he did.
Gucci, I
from
got
like
some of your other
September
questions
to
here,
November or October, he just brewed and brewed and brewed.
That's all it did.
Gucci had also written into me some few things I wanted to know from you, Matt. And I think this is a good question for everybody, especially when you're building recipes. Can you explain how you determine the use of hops for bittering and aroma? And he says, for example, I know the style guidelines for a pale ale, and I can use ProMash to calculate the IBUs, but there's obviously a taste and aroma difference in, say Cascade for 60 minutes or Amarillo for 30 minutes. So, I think we can say, when you're doing a recipe, how are you kind of deciphering these things and which one you're using for your target?
Well, I think a lot of craft brewers have now caught on to this, but what we've been doing for a really long time, and this was something that I brought with me from Goose Island, was kind of throwing out the old way that brewers used to think about, throwing a lot of hops in first for bitterness and dialing that up, and then a little bit at the end for aroma and whatever else flavor. We tend to use some pretty low alpha, what would be considered aromatic varieties of hops in the kettle, and we typically only dial in a couple IBUs up front.
Okay.
And we do a lot of hopping towards the end of the boil and a lot of hops after the flame's been cut or post-boil.
Okay.
What we call whirlpool hopping.
Now, do you feel that you get more bitterness out of that at the end, or more flavor from the hops?
Well, we've proven through our lab and analytical techniques that there is a lot of bitterness derived from late kettle hopping. It may be different on smaller systems. Every brew house needs to be looked at separately. So if you're using even your homebrew system, you can do this just through taste, but you get an idea of what your utilization is throughout the process. But
right.
As an example, our pale ale, which has a pretty good flowery hop character, really deep hop flavor, and reasonable bitterness, 40 IBUs, has very little, maybe less than 5 IBUs thrown into the kettle. And everything else is thrown in the last 15 minutes of the boil, and then again heavily hopped in the whirlpool. And we do that so we get a lot of aromatic quality. We can hit the beer with a lot of hops and still maintain the bitterness that we're looking for in the finish.
Okay.
That's what Jamil was talking about too.
Yeah,
late hopping.
Late hopping, yeah.
That's what I did with my classic American Pilsner that I've got in there right now. Is it took 2 pounds laid on and at the end just to get enough bitterness up, but I did everything at the end. And Jamil, that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah. For a good hoppy beer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll probably taste it in about 4, 5, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I think he said he judged another homebrewers, and it was late bittering, and he thought it was the best pale ale.
He said it was amazing.
Yeah.
He said just the smoothness and the hop character was incredible, and he couldn't resist but saying, "How the hell did you do?"
Well, he
that?
actually sent me the recipe for the cap.
Okay.
And he said this would be an awesome one to try with the all late bittering, all late hop additions in the last 15 minutes.
Right.
And I'll go for it.
Yeah, try it out. All right, let me do.
Wait, I got a question. From a professional brewer or a home brewer's level, do you think adding hops late in the boil, do you put the lid on to preserve the actual aromatics of the hop, or do you let it
at
the
end?
I would probably try to keep it as covered up as possible.
Okay.
I mean, in our process, we have separate vessels throughout the brew house. We have a separate mash mixer, separate lauter, separate kettle, but a separate whirlpool. And the whirlpool for us is almost like a hopping vessel. So once we're done boiling in the kettle, we transfer everything over to the whirlpool to get our trube separation. And we wait to the last possible minute before we're going to cool in to throw in hops, where we can still get and form a good trube pile and still get the wort out of there.
What temperature is the wort at that point?
I mean,
it's still near boiling?
It's near boiling. It's probably dropped. But maybe 10 degrees Fahrenheit at the most.
So it's hot, though.
Yeah, and there have been some craft brewers who've talked about actually lowering the temperature in the whirlpool. They might have had some kind of heat exchange surface between the two to even reduce the amount of heat they expose those hops to.
Right, and lose the aromatics.
Right, they're looking to capture aromatics. So we think about the whirlpool as, what you were saying. We get the hops in there, cover it up, and then cool in out of there as quickly as possible to maintain that really nice hop aroma.
Which is kind of like a giant hop back.
Right. I mean, we're a pellet brewer, so we can't use a traditional hop back where you feed whole leaf hops.
But you don't let it volatilize.
Right.
So
it's a very similar concept. Absolutely.
Hey, Gucci. You still there? All right. I'm going to do one more. I got great questions from you, and I appreciate that. I can't get to them all because I got a few other guys sent me in questions too. I'm going to do one more question from Gucci, but I'm going to dump you too so other people can call. Is that all right?
Okay. Yeah, you bet.
Hey, thanks for the call.
Next Sunday because I'll be in Germany drinking some beer.
Where are you going?
Daniela's.
Well, call into the show.
Where in Germany are you going?
I'm going to be in Kaiserslautern, Germany.
You should see the smile on Daniela's face right now. She's really excited.
She's really proud.
She has no clue where I'm at.
All right.
Fair enough.
Hang on.
Wait.
Great
show. Have a good week.
Hang on. Don't hang up. Before I dump you, I'm going to ask you the last question from you because it's an important question, and I might get to some of yours later on too. But don't hang up. Here's the last question. When are you going to get your bosses to distribute to Jersey, Matt? That's the important
Beer sucks
stuff.
in Jersey, Matt. Come on.
When are you going to do that?
Mail order it or something because we're a long ways off from hitting the East Coast.
Okay.
Long ways.
So no time soon,
that.
Gucci.
Sorry about that.
Dang it.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call, Darren.
Take care.
Cheers,
All right,
Darren.
we'll see you. All right. I got other people trying to call in. I had to get them off the air there. I also got a bunch of other people asking questions. So here's the thing that's going to happen as we keep drinking and keep going. I'm going to start cutting you guys off and asking questions and making them quick. So that's what you're going to have to deal with.
What does that mean to us as drinkers?
It means I might press mute on your microphone. That's all it means, really.
No, I mean every time they call in, we got to drink another half a pint.
That's right. That's true. But nobody's calling right this moment. Let's see. What do I got here?
Thing.
Here's a little a helper question someone needs, so any one of you can answer. I dry hopped an ounce of Cascade pellets in the corny keg last week and got a stuck FB? What the hell's an FB?
I don't know. Fermentation barrel?
Oh, you said fermentation.
That was the F word.
Hey, I wanted a drink, all right?
Everyone's got a drink for saying the F word. The question is,
probably
what's
FG.
up? Yeah, I'm imagining it's FG. By the way, the phone's ringing again.
Oh, God.
It's probably him telling me, like, dude, it's FG.
Is
We
it
need
F?
a break.
And I got a stuck FG, and he wants to know what's up.
Thursday.
Can anybody answer that? Is that enough information or not?
Not really,
It's not
but
enough information.
by the time he's
We're gonna
dry
move on.
hopping, he should be almost done with fermentation anyway. Oh, I said fermentation.
Where's the mute button?
How about homegrown hops? This is a question from T-Brew, about the alpha acid content in homegrown hops. Is there an average for each hop style? Because he's noticed, obviously huge ranges in AAs when he buys hops. So the unknown alpha acid has kept him from using his homegrown hops in the bittering edition. So, Matt, is there an average for a particular hop?
Well, I would just say across the board it's going to be lower than what commercial hop growers are going to get, but
Okay.
you might have more experience with that, John.
No. I think it's seasonal.
I mean, I grew some hops back in Michigan. Of course, the sun and everything not being as intense there. And
Yeah.
actually ran them while I was working as a hop chemist and only got about 2% alpha acid out of my home grow hop. So
2%?
Yeah, and these were hops that I think they were even Cascade, so they could have been as high as 6 or 7%.
Wow.
But this isn't not ideal growing conditions. Maybe, on the West Coast here you could do a little bit better. Your growing conditions, I mean, it's very
We
hard
got
to say.
awesome growing conditions. I'm growing fat hops in my backyard
Yeah,
right now.
Oh, you're so excited about that.
But you know what? They're overdone. because I was
Are
working
they
on the
browning?
website all week. I should have harvested them like a week and a half ago.
Slacker.
And now they're getting brown and everything.
Yeah.
They're totally overdone.
I hope you make bad beer.
Yeah. I actually.
Oh, wishing bad beer.
Man, what the hell?
You get a few drinks in it, it starts getting evil.
I do make bad beer. You don't have to hope about it. I just occasionally make a really damn good beer.
You do.
Which is all that's important to me.
Oh, the call.
All right, I got a caller on the air, which is going to mean another half a pint. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
What's up? Drink that pint.
That's all he wants to do.
That's the only reason I
should do
called.
this every show.
I appreciate that. I at least, as we're drinking, so do it, and I'll put the microphone to my Adam's apple. Tell us where you're from. Go ahead.
This is Crotch. This is Crotch.
Hey, Crotch, what's
I just wanted to
happening?
make sure you guys had to drink more. I'm going to make sure you're miserable tomorrow.
I actually stopped drinking just so I can call you a dick.
I'm going to call back about 9 more times underneath different names and keep disguising my voice.
Daniela, you didn't know it was crotch rot? You did.
Yeah.
She loves you.
You're a dick too.
I'm done.
No, I do have a question, but I wanted to make sure I got that pint in, you know.
Yeah, ask the question while I'm drinking.
I know with dry hopping, even though it doesn't add bitterness, it does add flavor. At least in my own experience. Hello?
Yeah, we're here. Go ahead.
Okay. At least in my own experience with the fermenters and stuff, when I dry hop, if I add a majority of hops, a good amount of hops, I end up getting quite a bit of flavor from it. It'll be a completely different beer, even though it'll be more aromatic. There's definitely a lot of hop flavor in there.
Okay. What's the question?
I was wondering, do you have a hop you might want to recommend that's real mild in flavor that would be a good dry hopping hop that won't add a lot of flavor but add quite a bit of aroma?
So you're looking,
something
you're looking
that
for
won't
dimension.
overpower the beer.
You're looking for more dimension and not necessarily to overwhelm your beer.
Exactly.
I mean, from my experience, Centennial has been a staple dry hop for many craft brewers, and that's for American varieties or beer styles that you're looking for American variety aroma or flavor. If you're doing English style beers, East Kent Golding is a great dry hop. It's something that can be overdone. It gives you that nice resiny East Kent kind of English noble character.
I'm more into American pale ales. I put it, if I try to dry hop with too much Cascade, I end up with a really sour beer.
Yeah.
Just from the
Cascade,
flavor.
from my experience, turns out not to be the greatest dry hop. It needs to be used judiciously. Centennial is an excellent one. Amarillo is another excellent one. Simcoe in very, small amounts can add a lot to the beer.
Okay.
I've had some really good luck with small amounts of Chinook, and I always tell people that I suggest blending to give it your own signature.
Okay.
So rather than using a single variety, go ahead and buy a couple of the different varieties that I mentioned, blend them at different proportions, and you'll get a very unique flavor and aroma.
Nice. I've said before, I think I'm an Amarillo fan. Amarillo is a really unique and it has a lot of the characteristics of other hops, which is what's awesome about it, because you can get your sort of Cascade and Centennial and things like that out of it, but it's also very different. It really does different things. The problem with Amarillo, and it's not citrusy.
It's not overwhelming.
The problem is that you can't get it all the time.
Yeah. The harvests
and
are out of.
I talked to a lot of people, actually, brewers when I was in Portland at the fest, and they want to brew beers with Amarillo, and either have to order well in advance or just plan that this is the time we're going to brew, because after a certain time of year, it's just gone. And the crops grow each year because people are starting to like it more and more, so they're growing it more and more. But you just can't find it. But to me, it's so versatile and so effective. I'm just a huge fan of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? And I've not even brewed a bunch with it. I'm not saying that I'm some sort of Amarillo expert, but I've done it 3 or 4 times, and I like it every single time. And the one time I planned to brew, and I had planned to use Amarillo, and I went to the homebrew shop, and it was gone. You know, and John said to me, "Hey, there is no Amarillo, you idiot. It's out of season." And I switched it. I changed it with I don't know what you told me to use. What'd you tell me to use? I think
Cascade or Centennial.
Totally different. It changed everything. And it was, I mean, it was an okay substitute. That's not what I mean, but it changed everything.
Yeah. Amarillo is one of those newer cultivars that there's only 1 or 2 growers that are growing it. And it was originally done in test plots, and none of the major brewers latched onto it, so they never committed to large acreage.
Right.
But the craft brewing industry has really gone after it, and even for this year's crop, 2005, we had to contract in advance. And we won't get any more than we contracted for.
Exactly.
So.
That's what I had heard, is that you contract exactly what you need, and after that, you can forget about it.
So you always, what I do is then contract for more than I know I'm going to need, and then sell it to the other brewers for twice as much down the
road. That's nice work.
Payroll.
Amarillo's good stuff. So if you can get a hold of it, and especially in dry hopping, because I dry hopped twice with it.
It's the most requested.
It was awesome. It was great to dry hop with.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That answers my question. Thank you very much, guys.
All right. And by the way, we drank our half a pint.
All right. I'll call back in 5 minutes underneath a different name.
Thanks, Christian. We'll see you. All right, there you go. I got some more questions here. This one's from Bug Eater Brewing.
Are we ready for our third segment?
We'll take a break. Let me do one question. How about that? This one's quick. I know you do. Hey, Doc just got up and left to go pee.
Yeah, well, I'm ready to ask questions and keep it going.
Give me a short one. I want to make them short anyway. So here you go. It's in various references you see the cohumulone levels mentioned as % of alpha acids. So Bug Eater wants to know, what the hell are they talking about? What are cohumulones and how are they related to alpha acids?
When the hop grows and the main acid that we're looking at, the hop acid that we're looking at being alpha acid, to determine, depending on the utilization of your brew house, what the bitterness that you're going to get, or the isoalpha acid that you're going to convert out of that. Okay. There happens to be a number of isomers of alpha. One of these is cohumulone.
Okay.
And it has been recognized historically by most brewers, and it's all the text, that when you do an analysis of any given hop variety, you can separate out the isomers, the different humulones, and cohumulone results in a more astringent bitterness.
Okay.
So historically, brewers have selected away from cohumulone high hops, some of them being like Chinook, for example.
Magnum, too.
Well, Magnum's actually a low cohumulone.
That's what I mean,
yeah.
Low cohumulone.
So brewers then have historically selected varieties that were low cohumulone for a less astringent bitterness. But more research to date, there's a lot of controversy there, and nobody can say definitively that that's the case. However, brewers still tend to follow that. So a lot of the new cultivars that are bittering hops have been selected for low cohumulone content.
Okay.
The idea is that all the humulones there's 3 of them basically, and they're going to add into the bitterness. And they all come in different levels with the different hops. And what you're saying here is that, traditionally it's like, the higher the cohumulone, it's people think that it's going to be more astringent, a little rougher on the bitterness.
I have no problem going on the record to say that I don't believe it makes any difference.
By the way, Doc's okay with giving a long goddamn answer here because he just left to go pee.
Yeah.
And the rest of us were totally happy with Matt's answer.
Yes, thank you, Matt. I'll drink to that.
We're going to take a quick break. Here's what we're going to do. When we come back, it's time to do some field sobriety tests. I will field more questions for Matt because I got some good ones.
Yeah.
But we will be doing field sobriety tests.
I'm going to the store. Anybody want anything?
All right,
rock and roll.
We'll be right back. It's the Brewing Network. We're going to find out how drunk we are. Hang on for, 2 songs. I'll try to keep it down to 1, but it depends on these guys who got to pee so bad. I don't have to pee so bad.
I'm done.
I got to pee a little bit, but not so bad. I'm going to pee in Dr. Scott's cup. We'll be right back. It's the Brewing Network.
You're listening to a bunch of guys talk about beer. The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
All right, you're listening to the Drunken Show, and I'm working on it, guys. I'm drinking a lot. I've got my tally at actually 7.5. I'm at 7.5 for the show, which is now been a 2-hour show. So 7.5 in 2 hours.
You're ahead of me.
Daniela says that some people are wondering why I'm not completely hammered right now, and I've tried to tell you guys before, my liver is extremely efficient. It processes things like no other. It's a finely tuned machine, and it's been practicing for years. I mean, I was drinking swill when I was a pup. I was just
loving it
and enjoying it quite a bit, except for the morning after. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We got Officer X,
Where's Officer X?
He's getting his tools ready because he wants to flashlight some eyes, which by the way hurts. So get ready for that. And we're gonna do the full walk inside the studio. We're gonna have to stand on one leg. He might ask you to say the alphabet backwards. By the way, the correct answer to that question is
Z.
Officer, I can't even do that when I'm sober.
Or I can't even do it forward. I'd like to introduce,
I'm the only one about that.
have him introduce the Firestone beers.
It was funny though.
We're drinking them, but
yeah. What did we drink? We drank the IPA, which is just called Firestone IPA.
Well, actually, the IPA is a Nectar Ales product. So Firestone Walker Brewing Company has two different brand lines. They have...
Which is who we're here with today, by the way, if you're just tuning in. We're with Matt from Firestone Walker Brewing Company.
Nice.
Firestone.
So the Firestone beers, there's 4 Firestone beers. There's Firestone Lager,
awesome
which is
beer,
a Munich Hella style beer. There's Firestone Pale Ale, which is a classic American style pale ale that's dry hopped. Our flagship is Double Barrel Ale, and that is the beer that has about 20% of it fermented in the Union system, and it's a classic English pale ale.
Okay.
It's also the beer we sell the most of. And then we have Firestone Reserve. That beer is a robust porter that 50% of it's fermented in the Union.
Okay.
Then we make the Nectar Ales, Red Nectar, IPA Nectar, Pale Nectar, and then we make the famous Hemp Ale.
Okay. And these beers are available where?
Only in California.
But distributed to stores throughout California?
We have distributors throughout California.
Okay.
We certainly have a larger following in Central California. In fact, we sell about 75% of our beer in 3 counties.
Okay.
And at 40,000 barrels a year, that's a lot of beer, but that's Ventura, Santa Barbara, and SLO counties.
Okay.
We're the number 1 selling beer in SLO County. We actually sell more draft beer than Budweiser in SLO County.
Now that is an achievement.
That is an achievement.
Not because Bud's good,
I think we should
but
drink
because they can afford to sell more than you can.
I never say a bad word about Budweiser because, they have all the resources in the world and they're making exactly what they want to, and they're very technically correct.
Well, if there wasn't Budweiser, we'd be all drinking wine.
All right. I appreciate both of you guys saying that, actually.
I'm going to drink to that.
We tend to bash commercial swill every now and then, and I like to hear good words about it. Actually, after I came home from Portland and talking to a few of the brewers up there, I did a whole segment on here about the respect that brewers have for places like Budweiser.
I mean, it's amazing as a craft brewer to be able to meet someone and then get into one of those larger breweries and observe what they do, because they have all the technology, they've years of experience, and they're still making beer,
and they're making the most beer basically. All right, I got a caller on the air just before we get to the alcohol test. If you're still there hanging out,
call us, make us drink more.
Caller, making us drink half a beer. Are you still there?
I'm still here.
That a boy. Where are you calling from?
Richmond, Virginia.
Sounds good.
Have you been participating in the drinking games with us?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because
so first of all, I am drunk.
That is a perfectly legitimate excuse to forget where you're from.
Okay, look into the microphone and make your eyes go to the left.
Have you drank every time we've said the 2 F words?
I've tried.
You've tried. And what about every time there was a caller? Did you chug half a pint?
No.
You did not. Okay.
No.
That's fair enough. Are you calling just to make us drink, or you got a question?
Absolutely. I had a question about, I brewed based on one of your shows of brewing it within the parameters of a pale ale.
Okay.
And I was very bored with that.
All right.
With the result I got. So I threw in an ounce of Cascade hot pellets.
Okay.
And I had stuck, I couldn't get it out of my keg.
Oh, okay. I think I read this question earlier, right?
Correct.
So your beer was done. You put it in the corny keg, and then you dry hopped that beer, that keg, right?
I think I actually I put it in another keg and drank it, and it was nice, but it was boring. So I tried to add an ounce in the next keg, and it got stuck.
Did you use a hop bag?
No.
Okay.
Did you cut the dip tube?
No, I put in a...
You need to do one of the two, and otherwise it just gums everything up. If you're gonna do your carbonation in the keg, you need to cut the dip tube. Otherwise, you're gonna it's gonna suck it up into the thing and just give you frustration from one point to the other.
So I need to cut. As I
Either cut about an inch off the dip tube or put it in a hop bag.
Well, here's the deal. So you got
you had the right idea, but you
hop bag, man.
You had some mechanical difficulties.
Yeah, here's the deal. Your dip tube goes to the bottom of your corny keg, and that's where your dry hop. Right?
Like a quarter inch
And
from the bottom.
So you've thrown in a shitload of hops there,
and they all settle right to the bottom.
And they all go right to the bottom. So now when you're trying to pour that bad boy, it's just all getting jammed up with hops.
So take your tubing cutter and cut about an inch off of your dip tube. And go that route. And
Matt, what are you laughing
at?
It. Use a hot bag.
Because he's done it.
I never learned anything about dip tubes in brewing school. So.
Hey, don't let me show you my dip tube.
Further fueling
you
the
gotta
fire
drink a pint
here.
for that one.
With that, everyone drink your half a pint for accepting a call, and please put your microphone to your Adam's apple. Thank you.
All right, fine. So it sounded like you had the right idea. You wanted to like spice up the ale.
Correct.
But you either need to use a hot bag, or your best bet is just to mark that keg as your short dip tube keg and cut about an inch off of it. So you can do a lot of things with that keg. You can right up the conical, put it into there, cold storage. That's your bright tank. And then pull it off of that one, and you get a lot brighter beer out of it.
Okay, that's good enough, right?
That's perfect.
Does that help you?
What's the best way to cut it out?
Use a tubing cutter, just like anything you would for a copper tube or anything else. The little screw wheel, and you wind it around the end of it. Probably your homebrew shop will have one. They'll do it for you.
Fair enough.
Hey, what's your name?
Fermentation.
I can't help you. My beer is out.
That's awesome.
All right, everybody drink 3.
I will. Don't
but
worry.
I can't.
Oh my god.
Fill up and drink 3. You owe us 3.
I think this is the best
I've done
feedback
2.
we've ever had.
I'm doing my 3rd.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you got us on that one.
All right, here's what I was asking for. Give me a name that I'll recognize, because what I think is that you're actually our first, drunken caller, and I'm going to give you a Firestone Walker shirt for that.
Smoking.
So give me your name and then send me an email. So
and your shirt size.
What's your email, Justin?
He knows I'll give it to you. Give me your name. Are you there? He's gone. All right.
Oh, thank you, Daniela.
Okay, fair enough. I'll tell you
what. Make sure I got another beer and I have to drink 3 times, or 4 times.
I wonder if I dropped him. Caller, you're on the air. Caller, you're on the air.
Yes, I had a hop question.
All right, go ahead.
Well, let's see. I forgot. I've been calling back so many times.
Where are you?
We had a bunch of busy signals.
Where are you from?
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually in Western North Carolina.
Okay.
Have you been playing along with us also?
Oh yeah, sure have.
This is global, by the way.
Are you also completely hammered?
Oh yeah, I'm hammered. Yeah.
Smoking.
Fair enough.
Hammered as Dr. Scott.
Yeah.
Now that is completely hammered.
I have not been tested yet.
Yeah. You're the first one.
You already failed.
Go ahead. What's your question?
Oh yeah.
But I had a question on the hops as the I think it may have already been answered about the utilization of the isomers between the pellets and the whole hops.
Okay. Yeah. So here's the deal. Use pellets. No, I'm serious, because basically what Matt said, it's a good question. It's fine, and even though it's repeated, it's totally a good question. The deal is, if you're worried about utilization, go ahead and use pellets, because they've already broken up all of the lupulins and the things that you really need to get out in your wort. So if you use pellets, you're going to get much more hop utilization and use less hops. If you want to go ahead and use whole hops, it's not a bad thing to do, but you're going to get you might get some vegetation type flavor, some grassy things happening, and you're going to have to use a lot more of it.
Oh yeah, had
So-
that. I've had the.
Dang, Justin's been listening.
I know. I said that I don't
He's a
hear
sharp
shit.
guy, you gotta follow him.
Listening.
But apparently, I soak it up like through osmosis. I
You
just
do.
sit in a room, and then before you know it, it's in my brain.
He can spit it right back.
Matt,
out.
I had another question too. This is probably kind of off topic,
That's okay. Go ahead.
but you see, I grow my own hops. And
Okay.
I've every time I've went to harvest the hops, each occasion, whenever I pulled the hops from the vine and kind of twisted the vine or unwound it,
Yeah.
the vine has died.
Okay. In case you didn't hear that, because our phone system's a little weird, he's saying that he grows his own hops, and when he harvests, he picks them from the vine, and he's twisting the vine off, which is what you have to do because it's winding up on something, and you got to unwind it, unless you just cut it from the bottom and pull it down, which is what you could do also. When you're ready to harvest, you could just chop it right from the bottom and pull the vine down and rip your hops off.
Well, the vines die every year.
And the vines die. So basically,
chop them off, grow new ones the next year.
Yeah,
I was
they'll grow
wondering
back.
about because I'd read that the hop rhizome stores carbohydrates, for the next year or whatever.
No, you should.
It does, but your rhizome is underground.
But you should chop them down every year, and the next year you'll get a lot better crop.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just don't worry about that one.
Yeah.
Chop them down to the ground. They'll do the winter, and then they'll come all back up. And they're really virulent, so they're going to come back a lot.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
You get a better crop next year.
I agree with the doc.
I got a question for Matt,
Chop
though.
it right at the bottom and pull them off.
Yeah.
Johnny, wait, hang on. Let me drop. Where are you calling from again?
North Carolina.
Yeah, from western North Carolina, Tennessee border.
What's your name?
T-Brew.
Oh, we got some questions from you earlier.
Yeah, nice.
All right. I tried to do this with the last caller, but he dropped before I got to. T-Brew, I want to send you a Firestone Walker t-shirt. Is that all right?
Awesome, yes.
Okay. Here's what I need you to do. Just send me an email, and it's on the website. It's Justin at the Brewing Network, but you don't have to remember that, because I don't either.
I sent you one just a second ago in the break, though, asking you a question for next week.
Okay, well, there you go. Send me an email and say that you called me and you were our second drunken caller who played the game along with us, asked some good questions, and I'm going to send you a Firestone Walker t-shirt.
Okay, great.
All right, thank you for the
Thanks,
call.
guys.
Right on. All right, Firestone Walker t-shirts for everyone.
We got plenty of them, I'll tell you that much.
Well, you got to send your size in, too, because we've got a gambit of people.
All right, I know you guys got questions, but we're running out of time.
How does light affect hops?
What'd I just say? We're running out of time. I want to do some. I want to do some field sobriety tests.
He's biting at the bit. He wants to test hops.
I'm not going to let you answer that question.
No, and he wants
You're
to
gonna
test
meet me,
us.
aren't you? All right, test.
I got to be mean. We got to do some tests. We'll do
Testing,
questions
baby.
at the end. If people are still hanging out, we'll do it. Officer X, you are ready to do some field sobriety tests?
Absolutely, sir.
Okay. I recommend that Dr. Scott is your first victim.
I have a question. Question. Is it A or B, black or white, drunk or not? I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail.
No, I
or is it can you test how drunk I am?
I made an agreement with Officer X before the show that nobody will go to jail. He will simply monitor your drunkenness and report it to our listeners.
Empirically thinking, would I go to jail?
That he will answer.
I can answer you right now.
That he will answer absolutely.
Because I've only had 2 beers.
I think every listener can answer that right now.
Okay.
I've only had 2 beers.
Dr. Scott, you're going to have to remove your headphones and stand up. Give up your microphone. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to let Daniela and Officer X, as much as he possibly can, moderate this deal happening. And I'm going to try to describe what's going on. So Dr. Scott's now going to stand up, and Officer X, who is an official...
He already stumbled, by the way.
If you're just tuning in...
He just stumbled.
I did the same thing when I get out of my car. Have you got a caller for us? Just tell him he's going to be on hold for a second, and I'll pick him up. Go ahead. You're going to be on hold for a second as we do these things, and then we'll put the caller back on the air. I think we're going to owe a half a pint here soon for this caller.
The chat room wants you to drink 1.5 pints, actually, Justin, because you
Every-
still seem to be sober.
I'm trying. It's not that I'm not consuming. I'm now at...
well, try harder
let
then.
me check my tally sheet. I am now at 8.5 in a 2-hour period.
I'm
You're
at
over
6.5.
It's not
Okay.
it's 3 hours.
Officer X, please grab the microphone for 1 second. It doesn't go that far, so be careful. Okay. You are about to conduct a field sobriety test on Dr. Scott.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is it that you're going to do?
I always start off with the horizontal gaze nystagmus, or HGN for short.
Okay. Which is what you mentioned earlier, where you're going to try to figure out whether or not his eye twitches.
Correct.
And you've said to us that you can actually estimate a person's alcohol content, like their BAC, their blood alcohol content, by the twitching of their eye?
Typically you can, yes.
Okay. I'm looking forward to that.
This should be fun.
He's got a flashlight in his hand, which if you've ever been pulled over, and I hope you haven't, and you shouldn't ever, you'll know what I'm talking about. So go ahead, Officer X, conduct your experiments. I'll keep just sort of describing what you're doing.
Okay. Doctor, I need you to go and put your feet together, heels and toes, hands down by your side. What I want you to do is keep your head still. Follow the tip of my finger with your eyes only, okay? Don't move your head.
Both eyes?
Ojos solamente.
Whoa, different language.
Apparently he works in Richmond, California, where he feels he needs to do it in 2 languages, which is okay. He's actually not shining the light directly into his eye. He just,
you guys should be seeing his eyes right now.
Dr. Scott is swaying slightly back and forth. I can't see his eyes. Daniela, what are they doing?
Oh my gosh, it looked like a cartoon right now. They're about to burst out of his head.
Okay. And he's basically doing the thing where you roll your finger back and forth. I think he's done with his test, and you have to follow the finger without moving with your head. Officer X, what have you found by doing this test with Dr. Scott?
I found that I think he's about maybe between a 1.2 and a 1.6.
And what's the legal limit?
Legal limit is 0.08.
Okay,
wow.
so you're
and I can move one eye at a time.
which is what bumped you up.
And since I've been watching him drink, I know he's on his way up, too.
Okay. Oh, really? Now, that's an interesting point, and I'm glad you brought that up, because here's the thing about alcohol, especially when you're going to get pulled over or do something stupid like drunken driving. If you drink 2 beers in a really quick time and then decide it's okay for you to drive home because you haven't felt anything, there's a time frame where you're actually on your way up, as Officer X is talking about, and the alcohol hasn't quite hit your bloodstream, but it's really going to in a short amount of time. And please explain what you mean by on the way up with Dr. Scott, Officer
It's just that everybody's body absorbs alcohol differently, and it can also depend on the kind of alcohol you're drinking.
Okay.
So we'll find that sometimes. That's one of the reasons why I'll be asking what time you had the drinks at, what was the most recent drink. Everyone lies. I don't know why you bother asking. But anyways, in theory, that would help assist me in determining if this guy is on his way up.
Okay. In other words, if sometimes you're finding somebody who's on the level, maybe he's an 07-ish, 06-ish, but he's on the way up, would you then consider giving a DUI anyway?
I would definitely consider that, absolutely, because 0.08 is the absolute legal limit in California, so if you are 0.08 or above, you are definitely considered driving under the influence.
Okay.
However, at 0.05 and above, if I have observations of poor driving or poor field sobriety tests, you can still be considered driving under the influence. There's actually 2 separate sections of the vehicle code.
It's officer discretion at that point.
Absolutely.
Okay. Good point. Here's what I want to do. I want to, if you can conduct just a couple of other sobriety tests on the dock, maybe the stand on one leg type of deals. Describe what those are going to be. I'm going to drink my half a pint because we have a caller. Okay. So while you do those and describe what they are, John and I, and hopefully Matt, are going to drink our half a pint.
I'll pass with flying colors.
Okay. Drink your half pint. Officer X, go ahead, please.
So the next test I'm going to have you do is with your hands down by your side. First, I'm going to demonstrate, and don't start until I tell you to. But hands down by your side, lifting up either your left foot or your right foot, holding it 6 inches off the ground. I want you to look at your toes and count as such: 1001, 1002, 1003, and keep counting up till I tell you to stop. Do you understand these instructions that I've given to you?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and begin.
By the way, Doc said yes. He's doing it. And I'm going to tell you right now, before he even starts, he's doing the exact same thing that I did. And I swear to God, this is no joke. He's doing the exact same thing I did when I got my DUI. The instructions from Officer X were to put your leg out and stand on the other one and count. And Dr. Scott is trying so hard to balance on the one leg, he's forgotten to count. And that is exactly what I did when I got my DUI. I stood there and I was so proud that I could stand on one leg and not fall over, and I didn't count, and the officer said, "Hey, dumbass," which was really just calling me by my name.
Yeah.
You're not counting. And I went, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Like whatever I did. Officer X, go ahead with your.
And the other thing I noticed is as they try to casually move his hands about 6 inches away from his side.
Okay.
And then when he sees my eyes drop down to those, he kind of bends the hands in, so leaving the wrists and the elbows out there to the side.
Okay.
Quite amusing.
No, okay. Hey, you're looking at my hands, so I may. Oh yeah, he said. by my side.
Wow.
But the funny thing is that it's weird that you concentrate so hard to pass like the things that you consider difficult about the sobriety test that you forget the simple ones, which are counting backwards or putting your hands at your side or whatever else you have to do.
Or pretty much just listening to what he said to do.
So if you had pulled over Dr. Scott, Nathan, and Officer X. That's right. There's 100 Nathans.
It's only a
out there.
nickname, man.
It's never been times.
He's going to jail, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. He's going to jail. All right. I would like you now to conduct a few experiments on our guest Matt from Firestone Brewing, who has been conducting in our games, but I think possibly holding back a little for fear that he has to drive home. We're hoping
he's got
a
place to stay.
I want to force feed him so that he has to hang out for the night and get hammered, whatever you're gonna do.
Crash with you.
Banging around going on. That microphone you just gave back to Dr. Scott, you're gonna take that off. I've turned it down so you can pull it. Okay, so Officer X, you're now moved on to Matt from Firestone Brewing, who has been drinking since we started as well. What tests are you going to conduct on him?
Yeah, I'd always do the HGN. But we'll try the
test first.
The eye test first, but we'll try the finger count test as well.
Okay, that sounds good. So start with the eye test and go ahead and let's see where old Matt's at. He's going to decide whether you're going home or not right here, Matt. He's doing the... Okay, he's got the flashlight. It's pointed, like I said before, it's actually not pointed directly into the eye. He just needs to see what the pupil is doing and where the eyes are going. So he's sort of pointing it down. And
Matt can't even hold his head still.
Matt can't keep his head still.
No.
He won't move his eyes. He's moving his head.
Good beer.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This is awesome.
While he's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and pick up the caller. Caller, you're on the air.
No, don't.
Caller, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Wichita again.
Did we get you before?
Yeah, I was calling in earlier. Sure, I called back again, much more drunk.
He can't even talk.
Just to get us to drink another half a pint?
Yeah, I just killed one of my kegs, one of my cornies.
The Brewing Network is doing good work this week.
Not very happy with that.
You're going to have to brew again tomorrow.
I'm going to have to brew again. I had a couple questions for you guys.
If they're simple questions, go right ahead.
They're as simple as I could think of right now.
Fair enough. Go ahead.
The first is in the studio there, what the hell is you guys' favorite aroma hops for brewing?
Okay, that's a good question. Actually, it came out in a roundabout way, but that's all right. That's why it's the Drunken Show. My favorite aroma hop, as I was saying before, it's actually also my favorite dry hopping hop is Amarillo. I'm a huge Amarillo fan. If I were to go for a second, because you can't always get Amarillo, I think I'm going to go with Cascade. I'm a big Cascade fan too. So. Although, now that I'm thinking about it, I've been known to use Kent Goldings, which the only problem I have with Kent Goldings is it's low alpha acid, but I love the aroma it gives. Matt, you want to answer that question for your favorite aroma?
Well, you kind of touched on it. Actually, it seems like the higher alpha acid hops, if you look at their chemical analysis at harvest, have higher oil content. So when you're looking for aroma, you're looking for oil.
Okay.
Now, traditionally, people didn't want to use high alpha hops to do anything late in the kettle program because they get too much bitterness.
Yeah.
But we're talking about dry hopping and whirlpool hopping and things of this nature. So I've actually gone out and looked at some hops that have been somewhat forgotten in these areas. Chinook being one of them.
Yeah.
UK Target being another one of them. Challenger and some of these that were never thought of as aroma varieties. They were grown for alpha content. Or other hops that were grown strictly for alpha for the pelletizing and then later the extraction process. So anything with a high oil content has potential to be a great aroma hop, I think.
Okay. What's the UK one you mentioned?
UK Target.
Does that have another name?
No, it's an old variety. It's been around for a long time, and we
actually
I've not even
heard of that.
We did our double IPA dry hopped with UK Target. And,
all right.
People really liked it.
John, you get that at B3?
No, we did not.
You don't?
No.
I like that. I don't know. I thought I had heard of all the hop names. I've never heard of UK Target.
Oh, you're wrong, man.
All right. Yeah, I like to be wrong. I love to hear about stuff I never heard about. Nice work.
That's why you're the man.
All right. Well, there you go. I'm going to drink my half a pint, as is everybody else in the studio.
I just filled up, too.
How many shirts did you bring us, Matt?
5.
5, right? All right, what's your name? Caller?
Oh yeah, this is, I've been drinking along with you, and I've been drinking since before you guys got on. So,
I love that, too. You're awesome.
Probably more than you guys have drank so far.
Man, I want to send you 2 shirts. All right.
No need to do that.
Give me your name. Just tell me your name.
Oh, this is Stino.
Stino. Oh, Stino, I think we talked to you
Yeah,
once.
we did.
Yeah, we've been in touch.
Stino.
I'm a big beer nerd, and I'm a big business nerd, so we've been in touch.
All right, Stino, here's the deal. Send me an email. It's on the website. I know you. I know you. I'm going to send you a Firestone shirt if you want it.
All right, awesome.
But I'm telling you, I'm drunk too, so you're going to have to send me an email and say, I'm the drunk guy who called in. Send me a Firestone
If I can
shirt.
remember to send you the email, I will.
All right. So here's what I mean. If you don't get a shirt in a couple weeks, it's your own damn fault.
That's fine, dude.
Stino, thank you for the call.
All right, we'll talk to you later, Justin.
That's
awesome.
All right, bye.
Cheers.
All right. How is Officer X? How's Matt done on his preliminary field sobriety tests?
Just the one that I've given him so far. He's borderline, to be honest. He's
Is that
around
right?
there.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
been controlled.
Before we go on, I've just remembered that we have to drink our half a pint for that caller.
Oh.
So half a pint. Here
Prost.
I go. Microphone to my Adam's apple. Doc, that means you too. Just quit talking and start drinking.
A caller.
Notice that? I did that for him. You did already?
Yes, I did.
He's borderline. That's all that matters.
I'm full up.
We've drank a fair amount of beer on the show.
Okay, there's my half a pint. I'm going to have to give a belch very soon. Okay. Officer X, Matt is right on the borderline. So you're saying that are you saying you might actually let him go?
I'm saying breathalyzer for sure.
Ah, okay. So his eyes haven't shown that he's hammered.
And he's opening a beer.
Not
too.
hammered.
No.
Well, now he might be. Now
He's about to open another one.
He's on his way up.
And he's on his way up.
I got another caller on the air. I'm going to take him in a second. Hang in there.
Where are they from?
Okay.
45 minutes
England?
until they're up.
India.
Officer X, would you choose to give him more field sobriety tests or just go straight to the breathalyzer after that?
Well, I haven't given him any others yet.
Well, if
but if
what
I
I
had,
mean is
yeah.
if you were in the field, would
Oh,
you
yeah.
go sobriety test or go straight to the breathalyzer?
No. Always the breathalyzer always the last one.
Okay,
Always.
so why don't you go ahead and give him some of the other field sobriety tests. Doc, I think you're going to have to move out of the way a little bit. Yeah, move your chair. I don't know what other tests are you thinking you're going to do?
We could do the finger count. It's always a good one.
Okay, do the finger count with poor Matt.
Poor Matt.
Who thought he was just coming for an interview.
Use either your left hand or your right hand. I want you to count your fingers as such. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's important that you touch the tip of your thumb to the tip of each finger and count out loud as such. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's one set. Go ahead and do 3 sets.
Back and forth is one set.
Correct.
Good question.
1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wow.
He did 3 sets.
Nice.
Nathan, for fuck's sake.
Hey, it's only a nickname, all right?
Officer
Don't worry about
X,
it. It's only a nickname.
how did he do?
He did pretty good. He
Okay.
did pretty good. A little bit slow there and kind of lackadaisical on the thumb to the finger.
Okay.
What
I
about
was
low
really
IQ?
pointed, but
What are you looking for? Yeah.
If you're stupid and
does
you're
it-
not drunk.
Yeah, does it count that Matt's kind of dumb?
makes him look more drunk.
I actually, I'm glad you brought that up, John. I did not imply that. Because I was going to mention this earlier. You know what I love about the brew community? No, this is really good stuff. Because a lot of times we look kind of stupid, right? Like we look like thugs. We look like myself.
Look at you.
I mean, Matt here's got a foo. He's got this big beard hanging down from his head. You would never pick that he's a hop chemist, right? I love that we sort of break stereotypes. However, here's the deal. You look at Matt and you think, wow, this guy's retarded. And yeah, and then he starts talking on the microphone.
I drove all the way up here for these.
For that, yeah, exactly.
I had the same question. It's like you're looking at him.
Yeah.
If he looked like you,
yeah,
would you be a little more lenient on some things?
And what he means is, does he look like
it has
Officer
to do
X?
with presence and whether, what his overall impression is.
What he means is Officer X is very clean cut and nice looking. So if he looked like Officer X, would you then say, "Oh, it's an easy deal"? My point is, if you look at Matt, you think he's retarded. And
Justin, you look retarded, man.
Like myself.
Yeah,
I'm not judging anybody how I don't judge myself.
Your eye goes in one direction versus the other one.
My
left
point
eye?
is, you sit Matt down and you start talking hop chemistry, and the kid makes you feel like a retard because he knows what he's talking about.
And do you feel like a retard?
I always feel like a retard.
Okay. You look like a retard.
John feels the need to defend our guests so that they're all comfortable.
Oh, I will, too.
Whereas
Matt's the man, dude.
Whereas
He's
I'm
Batman.
like,
He's Superfly.
Matt's comfortable.
Yeah.
He's fine with me calling him an idiot.
Yeah. He drove 4 hours, dude.
I'm not sure I'm okay with you calling me clean cut.
You are. Look at you. Come on, man.
Oh, yeah. That's part of an insult right there.
Would the foo...
This is nerd, basically, a nice way of saying that.
If you had pulled over Matt, would the beard, the foo, have altered your judgment of him?
Well, since you're asking me for a professional opinion, absolutely not. And because you mentioned that wine is now taking over as the drink of choice, and it comes to this consistent problem where it's your kind of people who think they're upper middle class and intelligent that think they can have a little too much to drink and get away with it. They can outsmart or whatever. And so we're running into is not just your retards-looking types that are
and he pointed at Matt, by the way.
He's laughing. To be honest, it's kind of funny that actually a lot of people who seem to come from the retard community who may have been arrested for other things. Know how bad it sucks.
retarded?
So, yeah, some of them are. I hate to say it, but anyways. But know how much it sucks to get arrested, and so they're kind of one. I don't want to get arrested for a DUI of all things.
Right.
Whereas again, somebody that's never been arrested before thinks, a few glasses of wine, a little wine tasting, a little driving, not a big deal.
Right.
And they find how much it sucks to get thrown in with all three retards down at the jail.
Gotcha. Okay,
Justin, you were there before, weren't you?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah,
give
you
the
still
micro-
are.
Matt. I just was using you as an example.
And I was using retard in the general sense of the word. Matt was not. That was not interchangeable there.
But you were looking at it.
Fair enough. All right.
I'm
so
speechless.
after that second test, are you still thinking you would move on to the breathalyzer with Matt, or would you let him go?
Again, I would not let him go without a breathalyzer. So if he got a little snotty with me and refused it or whatever, I'd have to take him to jail.
Yeah,
just to be careful, when it comes down to it.
Okay.
Guy?
Sure.
What if he's a nice, did everything you wanted, and he didn't have the goatee, and it's with him. You're telling me it's borderline.
What the hell are you talking about, Doc?
Well, it's borderline with Matt here, and you're a professional, and you gotta make a judgment call right then, and you gotta keep everything safe on the highway too. So it's your judgment call.
He's bringing him in.
Yeah, he's bringing him in.
He's bringing him in.
Just as a service call. Yes.
All right. Here's what we're gonna do. We're moving on to John.
Yeah.
And as we move on to John, so go ahead, John, because I'm going to pass out. I'm going to pass out my own sobriety tests, and so John's going to now move on to Officer X, and we'll keep you updated about that, see how he does, and don't worry, I'm going to get on there too. I have a feeling you guys think I'm sober, and it's not going to happen. Officer X is going to look me over and go, you know what? You're the guy.
Justin, you have an empty beer in front of you, and you haven't been drinking.
Okay, Dr. Scott, you're going to be the first victim of my own personal field sobriety test. John, don't listen to me. Go over to Officer X. Officer X, I would like you to conduct a series of field sobriety tests on John. And I'm not going to give you your microphone. I just want you to go ahead and do them. Do the full gamut on John. And that way, and then I'll come back and update with you as I do my own sobriety tests with the other people in the studio. Is that fine? Sure. Okay. So John is now going to go through the gamut. John, you have just been pulled over for not using your blinker or some other stupid thing.
And he's scared shitless.
And you're scared, and Officer X is going to give you the full gamut, and we're going to come back to you and find out what's happening. Okay, Dr. Scott. I would like you to, now listen, I'm going to hand you a piece of paper. Here's my own field sobriety test. I'm going to ask people in the studio to read things that I've written down, and they're somewhat of a tongue twister type of thing, but I think it's always interesting when like speech patterns when you're drinking.
It's English, right?
Yes, it is in English.
Well, I can do other things, but
and
English
I have
would
a
be
caller
easier.
in here too. I'm gonna have to get to. Let me do that in 1 second. Hang on.
You already got to him.
No, I got another one. Don't worry about that. I don't want you, here's what I'm going to hand you a closed piece of paper, Dr. Scott. I want you to open it and not look it over, just start reading. If I feel that you're looking it over, I'm going to punish you and make you drink.
Oh, so education has nothing to do with it.
That's right. I want you to open it up and begin reading. And we're going to try to feel, get a feel for where you're at. You hear me?
Oh, wait, man.
Take the piece of paper. He's opening it. As soon as you open it, start reading. Doc, go ahead.
I am constantly concerned about the well-being of my multifaceted existence.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Still bad.
A couple slurs,
I am constantly concerned about the well-being of my multifaceted existence.
Now it's the second time, and that doesn't.
Well, of course, because the education in me would read it first and get past my learning disabilities, and then I would read it.
Okay. Now I'm going to have John do one. Even though he's in the middle of field sobriety tests, I'm going to interrupt for just a second. Danielle, please hand this to John. John, the rules are, don't look it over. As soon as you open that, begin reading. Go.
Bigger breweries brew better bitter Belgians for beer bellies.
Not bad.
Quite
Not
good.
bad. Okay. Not doing too bad here. Now,
He had
Matt
all the
from Firestone, I want you to just open it up. Don't look it over. Just read it. Go ahead. Into the microphone. Yeah, I know you're not close to the microphone. I need you to get it real close. Go ahead.
It reads, I hate John.
Oh, who put that in there? I hate John. Come on, that's not appropriate.
Because nobody hates John.
I didn't write that one.
Well, maybe those guys in that other forum.
Yeah, they might have done that.
They might hate John.
All right, I'm going to read one. I wrote them, so I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm still, they're tough to read.
You didn't write that one?
I did write this one.
No, the other one.
No, I didn't write that one. Come on, that's ridiculous. Where'd
that come from?
Who would say something like that?
I did.
All right, here's mine. 54 fermenters finally finished fermenting fantastically fulfilling flocculations.
So that's like 4 drinks.
John, Dr. Scott, I want you to read that.
that's like 4 drinks.
Try it.
Okay.
Go.
54 fermenters finally finished fermenting fantastically fulfilling flocculations.
Man, my readings aren't going so well at all. I don't get it. All right, Danielle, I'm going to give you one.
Education. I like your dog.
No, you can't read it.
No, I didn't.
Beforehand, just say it as you open it. Go ahead, Danielle.
John is gay.
Oh, what? Come on, that's inappropriate.
I wrote this one.
Oh, no, you know what? You should have made his girlfriend that's sitting right over there say that.
I should have had her read it. John, by the way, is still going through field sobriety tests. He's
so focused on his test, he didn't even hear that we called him gay and that we hate him.
No, his girlfriend needs to call him gay.
He's actually doing the most famous one where you have to walk the line 1 foot in front of the other. Everybody knows this one, and see how you do at it. Let me get our caller on the air, and then we're going to find out what's up with John. Oh, shit, I just dropped him. Are you there?
I am here.
Oh, I got you. Okay. How you doing? Where are you calling from?
I am calling from Calcutta, India. My name is Gupta.
Okay, say it one more time.
My name is Gupta. I am calling from Calcutta, India.
Okay.
What time is it there?
Fair enough.
It is very early in the morning. I am an IT tech for HP.
Uh-huh.
I am also a budding home brewer. I'm sorry, my English is not very good. I have a simple question about a word.
Do you have a Slurpee machine?
Go ahead. Go ahead with your simple question.
The process by where yeast is introduced to the wort, I do not know what that is called.
Pitching.
No, the process where the yeast converts the sugars to alcohol.
Wait. I think the word you want is fermentation.
Thanks very much, guys. That's what I wanted to hear you say. This is Matt.
Oh, we thought it was...
This is Gupta.
No. You stick away from the Slurpee machine.
Gupta, we thought it was actually crotch rot. We didn't know. Man. I like that.
The crotch is way too hammered to do this. That's Wichita.
I'm taking a drink. Plus, we owe half a beer for the call.
At least.
All right.
I don't have one.
Thanks for the call, Matt.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
You dick.
All right, I think we need to have a commentary from our CHP officer.
Okay.
Officer
X, how did John do on his field sobriety test?
Well, John's an interesting guy. I can tell that he's a experienced alcohol consumer because his eyes are showing him far more intoxicated than what his coordination test would suggest.
Okay.
Made some minor mistakes there, but definitely in the eyes I can see that he's over the legal limit.
Okay.
So it's like one of those things where, I'd arrest him and he'd be like you, thinking, hey, I passed all my tests, dang, I should be able to drive, but, the law says, and I go by the law, hey, he's not supposed to be out on the roads.
I gotcha.
Technically he's ripped. I'm sure he's feeling it in his mind as far as talking or whatever, but his coordination is still there again because he's used to consuming alcohol.
Okay. All right. Here's what we're going to do. It's now my turn. I'm going to need someone to conduct the show, and I'm going to give that to Daniela because folks at home like Daniela and appreciate what she has to say.
Okay, good, because I want this all done in German.
So the rest of the show will be conducted in German.
Good for me.
No. Daniela, I want you to come sit in my chair. You will be the only person to ever sit in the captain's chair, I think, here.
You have to ramble...
Yeah. The only thing
unintelligibly.
That means, exactly. The only thing that means is that it smells like farts and you have to ramble on.
Hey, drink, Justin.
Oh, wait, and you got to... And the microphone smells like a beer.
So you're going to conduct sort of what's happening. Nathan, Officer X, will also, I want you to give me now I want you to throw the book at me. All right, you've pulled me over.
So the knee in the crotch, then.
Exactly.
Okay.
Officer, you've pulled me over. I gave you the 2 beer thing. Oh, I've only had 2 beers. It's obvious that I stink, and I've had a bunch. I've been a jerk. You can even throw me into a resting
tank
position if you want.
With John.
If I get angry with you and you feel the need to pull one of those moves that you guys pull, I don't know what they are because I didn't have that. I was a nice guy when I got pulled over, but you go ahead and do that. That's what I'm saying. You got me?
I got full carte blanche here.
Here's what I mean. This is a real situation. It's a simulation as if you're in CHP school. Officer, I'm serious here.
You can't because he does not have his nightstick.
It doesn't matter. I bet that he doesn't need it.
He does. With you, he needs it.
I'm going to set the example for why you shouldn't drink and drive. Okay?
You already have.
So if I get angry or start throwing punches, you do what's necessary.
He does not have his nightstick.
Officer X, are you with me? It's on.
Wait, can I help him?
Are you with me?
I'm with you right here.
If you become out of hand, can I help him?
No.
Okay.
Because he's an officer and he shouldn't need help.
So tell me, are you in a car full of other inebriated fellas?
It's called backup.
Here's the situation. I am being pulled over.
Okay.
I'm apparently over the limit.
Okay.
I might be less than cooperative.
Okay.
But it's just me and you.
Okay.
Now you may have called for backup. I don't know.
Okay.
Or may feel the need to do so.
Okay.
But it's me and you. There's nobody else. It's not a car full of people. I have a previous DUI. Okay. I don't want a second one. And I'm going to business with you.
So we're going to start like as a regular stop, right?
It's a regular stop.
I'd call for backup.
Okay. It's a regular stop. But I'm going to get up and I'm going to come over there. And then we're gonna start this whole thing.
Okay.
So Daniela, I'm now giving you control of the show.
Let's go, Daniela.
Although I also
bring it home, girl.
I got a caller on the air. Do
You're
I need to
beer
take
queen
a call
now,
Nathan?
For a second.
Hang on.
No, stop calling.
Caller, go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent. Hey, I've got a question about first word hopping.
You know I'm about to get my ass kicked by a CHP officer, right?
Excellent. Nothing wrong with that. Huh?
All right. Go ahead. I'm going to let you direct the question to Matt. I'm going to get up and go for my questioning, and then Matt, Daniela, you're going to take the microphone. Ask your question, caller. Go ahead.
All right. So basically, on some of the forums and whatnot, there was a link that came up to some guy that had posted on a forum who had been to UC Davis and a bunch of other brewing places, and he had said that what he had studied now at those places is that first wort hopping is no longer done. The Germans don't do it anymore. And so I wanted to talk to a professional in the business that knows hops and see what he thinks about this.
Go for it, man.
I think that the whole first wort hopping was short-lived for a few different reasons. First and foremost, there's a lot of degradation that happens as soon as you expose hops to wort and oxygen, and the longer period of time that they're exposed, the more degradation that's going to happen. And I think that the argument for it was that humulene, what gives a lot of hops their noble oil character, is actually very slow to come off a distillation column. In other words, it's an oil that's pretty heavy that stays with beer throughout the boiling process, throughout fermentation, and is evident in the finished beer. and it's also the favored aroma by most Germanic styles, or by a lot of German brewers. And then a lot of craft brewers and home brewers and American brewers took that to mean that they were going to bring the same hop quality that they recognize as a hoppy beer, maybe American aroma, to their finished beers, and it wasn't true. And a lot of people now have gone to double IPA standards where they're using hops in the mash and doing first wort hopping and everything like that. Those are completely different styles than what the Germans were originally trying to do, and that kind of faded away back to, we keep going back to the traditional methods of brewing, and they've held true for so many years.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, we owe half a beer for the caller. Okay, it's Justin here. I'm about to get my field sobriety test, and I want you all to know I am willing to get my ass kicked by this CHP officer in order to show what happens when you get pulled over. So
I'd like him to do it with a beer in his hand.
Officer X?
Do it with a beer in your hand.
All right, I got a beer. Well, but that's not going to be realistic. Let me.
Well, no, you got to drink that first.
No, you got to do the whole realistic thing. You do your half a glass now. The thing with Justin is he looks totally sober right now, actually.
He always looks sober and he's drunk every day.
But just a little bit retarded.
A little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I've done my half a glass, and I've just gotten pulled over. So I'm now getting out of the vehicle. Let's.
Well, that's the first thing I'm going to do is I'm coming in and I'm smelling, reeking of alcohol coming out of it. You're the only person in the vehicle here.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that you're wearing a Firestone shirt. And I'm seeing spilt beer on the Firestone shirt.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of what we'd call here probable cause for taking you out of the car and thinking that maybe I need to do an investigation here.
Okay.
So the first thing I'm going to do after I get your license and registration is please step out of the car and meet me back in my patrol car.
Okay.
That gives me a chance to watch you get out of the car, stumble over, and hopefully not fall into traffic and get run over, because then the investigation's kind of over, but that's okay.
And I'm out of the car.
That's okay. And then you can claim that I beat the crap out of you.
I'm with you now outside of your car.
Oh my
That was a good burp.
He just burped off his
He just burped in my face. This is where I put in the report, and I noticed a strong odor emitting from the mouth of subject. Can I say your name?
Yes, you can. You can say my name. Everybody knows my name.
JC. Yeah.
So I asked you to meet me over my patrol car, and in front of it there, good lighting, hopefully a nice, good level area.
It's all in the report.
And that's where I'd ask you all these pre-field sobriety test questions, such as how much have you had to drink, what have you been drinking, when'd you start, when'd you finish, what beer show were you listening to at the time, asking you questions such as when'd you last sleep. It's always a big question there.
I got asked that when I got my DUI.
It's a big thing. Fatigue can go right there with...
I'm going to be honest in the situation.
Okay.
I slept quite a bit today. I slept till about 10 a.m. today. So
okay.
I got
how many hours of sleep did you get?
A full 8 hours.
Full 8 hours.
Full 8 hours.
Okay.
Of sleep.
And when'd you last eat?
Just before the show, I ate at 4 o'clock.
Okay. Then I'd be asking you questions such as, have you had your head hit recently? By Danielle over there.
Yeah.
I know it.
I don't blame you.
No, I've not had my head hit.
Okay, you're not in the care of a doctor or dentist?
No, I'm not.
You're not taking any medication or drugs?
I do not take drugs.
Okay. And, recent surgery performed?
No recent surgery.
No physical impairments?
No, sir.
Okay.
And by the way...
Wait. You are physically impaired.
No, sir. I'm not physically impaired. And, by the way, first of all, stop moving the microphone. And second, because it has that windy thing happening, so easy. Always use sir. When you get pulled over, guys, you're all about the sir. You hear me? Listen to me.
Unless it's a female officer, then I highly recommend not using the sir.
Yes, ma'am.
And I highly, highly recommend not calling her sweetie or honey or any other feminine degradation kind of terms.
What if I call you sweetheart?
That would also definitely find its way into the report.
No, sir.
Hey, honey.
I'm told I've eaten recently. I've slept. Everything is fine, sir.
Outstanding. Okay, so finally, best question is: do you feel the effects of the alcohol?
Sir, I have not had anything to drink.
And just watching your eyes lie is the best part about that. This is my favorite question.
Let
to
alone
ask.
2 beers.
Officer,
Right
I am completely
pause.
sober. I actually don't drink anymore. I've gotten a DUI before, and I don't drink.
And this is where I'm offended because you just burped the worst beer smell in my face like 2 minutes ago. So he thinks I'm Officer Moron, but that's okay.
And Officer X, what would you say about him standing like this with his hands in his pockets and just trying to keep it up and his beer belly all fat out there? I mean,
I wasn't going to mention the beer belly because I respect Justin a lot. And
No, you don't.
But,
no, you don't.
now that you mention it, again, that's part of that.
Not anymore.
It's right with the stain too, isn't that perfect? The stain's right there, kind of highlighting the beer stain, right there over his belly. But anyways,
Oops on my shirt. But I don't see it. I had burritos today, sir. Burritos are very filling, and occasionally my stomach bulges because of that.
And you gurge.
Yeah.
Okay. Just don't tell me you're pregnant. We'll be fine.
I'm not pregnant, and I've not had anything to drink.
Okay. Outstanding. So now we move on to the actual test.
Okay.
And in my hands here. Can you take the mic? Here we go. So, sir, go ahead and put your heels and toes together, feet together, hands down by your side. What I want you to do is leaving your head still. Follow the tip of my finger with your eyes only. Okay. Don't move your head.
He's trying really hard right now.
The big head.
Bring it home, Jay.
Now, the witness holding the phone or holding the microphone can tell you his eyes have about 3 positions going from left to right. They like
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Center, left, and right.
This is what we call lack of smooth pursuit.
Okay.
Okay. That's how it gets written in the report.
Do the same thing you just did, Nate. There you go.
Okay. So right here. I take them all the way to the side. I'm seeing how bad they're twitching, and I start coming back and seeing how they keep twitching.
Oh my
Until, man, we get.
They are twitching. Are you saying they're twitching?
Yeah. By the way, while they're twitching, I actually see 2 fingers. Are you sure you're not holding up 2 fingers?
No, it's the one in the middle.
Yes. I've had people ask me, "Sir, why are you flipping me off?" I've had them ask that there. It's great.
No, but
Good
seriously,
question.
this demonstration is really, really impressive, actually. You can totally tell that you're hammered.
Yeah.
Now, because by just looking at you, just having a glance, you wouldn't tell, but now,
Right.
oh my god.
You look at my eyes, and all of a sudden, I'm Captain Drunk a lot.
I've never seen that before.
And now every night you got to say, "Honey, honey, you're hammered."
Right. Let's move it along. Go ahead.
Okay, so now we've done that.
We're ordering out.
To be honest, right now it's really clear that he's seriously intoxicated. So honestly, from here, just letting you know professionally, it's kind of all a formality.
Give me a BAC estimated on what you've seen.
Honestly, like 1.6, 1.8.
I was thinking 2.
And on your way up, 2 is the thing. Like I said, I'm just kind of what I'm seeing.
Okay.
But like you just had half a pint right there. And anyways, recently. So right now, I'm just going to do the absolute standard tests, which are the one leg stand, the walk and turn. So the next thing I have you do is with your hands down by your side. What I want you to do, wait till I tell you to start, is lifting up either your left foot or right foot 6 inches off the ground in front of you. I want you to wait till I tell you to start, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
What I want you to do is...
yes, sir.
Is looking at your toe with your hands down by your side. I want you to count out loud as such. 1001, 1002, 1003. Keep counting as such till I tell you to stop. Now, if you should have to put your foot down because you lose your balance, that's okay. Just pick it back up and keep counting where you left off.
Okay.
Do you
And you don't
understand
care
these
which foot?
instructions? I don't care which foot.
Okay.
Okay?
Ready?
Sure, go ahead.
1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
I don't think he meant out loud.
1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009.
He went to the gun
1010,
position.
1011, 1012, 1013. God damn it.
He keeps
I can't even count this high. 1014.
Officer X, should I get on your 90?
1016, 1017, 1018,
and Justin keeps looking at Officer X, just checking if he's doing everything
Now I'm
right.
falling over.
And I'll tell you that's one of the things. Again, somebody who is again accustomed to drinking lots of alcohol.
Yeah.
It's right about that 20 to 30 seconds that they actually really can start to lose their balance.
Really?
Although you were kind of doing this like swaying thing.
I
like,
did.
Looked like
Yeah.
Pele there trying to kick the ball. Back
I did
and
my
forth.
one foot that was up. I'm on my. I'm standing on my right foot, and I got my left foot up. And in order to keep my balance, I'm trying to keep my hands at my side. So I'm moving my the one that's up. I'm moving it side to side to keep my balance.
And
you're
your right
absolutely
hand
right.
came up 8
as
inches.
It did move, and as I got to 18 or 19, I totally at 19 I fell over. And I had to put my foot down.
What was really interesting was Officer X here went to his precautionary stance. He did. He just, I don't know if he thought about it. He just did it.
Well, this guy looks like he's ready for a fight. I mean, he's already talking about it.
Yeah, and I asked you if you wanted me
I didn't talk
on
about
your
anything.
90.
You just pulled me over.
I asked you if you wanted me on your 90.
Yeah. All right, where else? All right, so I just whatever. I just did that test. What are you going to do now?
Next test we're going to do is the walk and turn. Okay. Well,
I just stood on my
that
foot.
test.
I thought I did fine.
Yeah, everybody thinks they did fine. Anyways, if you want to hear right now, just play a game. Like, oh yeah, sir, absolutely. Yeah, you did. There you go. Thank you, sir. Next test I want you to do, and move on. Let's do the finger count, just so you don't have to walk around so much.
Yeah.
So what I'm have you do is using either your. Actually, I got a better test here. It'll be fun. What I want you to do is putting your feet together, hands down by your side.
Yeah.
What I'm going to have you do when I tell you to start is you're going to tilt your head back and then I'm going to say estimate 30 seconds. Then I want you to close your eyes and estimate 30 seconds. When you think 30 seconds is up, go and open your eyes and look at me, okay?
That's a 60 second.
He's going to fall over.
Yeah. I did. By the way, I did this one as well.
Then you're do the instructions then? Okay.
Feet together. You want me to
together, hands down by your side.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to have you tilt your head back looking up. When I say start, go ahead and close your eyes and then estimate 30 seconds. When you think 30 seconds is up, open your eyes and look at me again, okay? You look so scared right now. It's incredible, Justin. It's amazing.
Because he's reliving it all.
Yeah.
I had sex with your mom.
Wait till I tell you your 30 seconds is over.
He's trying very... Hey, close your eyes.
No, I'm not supposed to until he says start.
Okay, finally.
Hey, focus.
All right, go ahead and start.
Drunken fool.
Nice background, John. He's just standing there.
Oh, Matt's thinking... Hey, you said there wasn't going to be police here.
Why are you drooling, Jason? Come on,
you never said there'd be police here.
I think that's about 30 seconds.
No, you're way off, man. Let's focus, man.
Hey, I was supposed to say 30 seconds. I said that's about 30 seconds.
Not both.
So you forgot to open your eyes. You forgot to look at me, and
you didn't follow the directions.
24 seconds.
Huh? 24 seconds.
That's not bad. That's not bad for where you're actually at. But your eyelids were fluttering too. I was pointing that out.
You did not follow directions.
And you had that little sway going. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I didn't sway. I was just moving my feet a little bit to keep my balance.
He said do A, B, and C, and well, you didn't.
All right, so I think I've passed all the tests. I can go, right?
All right, see ya.
So here's where I have to give you the PAS admonishment. It's actually legally required to say this to you. That, sir, I need to ask you to do the preliminary alcohol screening device. This is not an implied consent test, though, and therefore, if I believe you're under the influence of alcohol and I place you under arrest, you still, by state law, have to submit to either a breath test or a blood test.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Do you want to take the breathalyzer?
Well, what I understand is that I've done all your tests, and I think I've done just fine, so I think we're ready to go here, officer.
I understand that, but I'm asking you to take the PAS test. Do you want to take tests or do you want to refuse the PAS test?
What I think is I've given you my license. I participated in all your tests. I think there's not a problem here. I've done everything I was supposed to do. I'm about to get back into my car, and I'm going to get out of here, okay? So thank you for everything, officer. I appreciate it.
So you stop right there, sir.
Officer, no, he's cuffed now, baby.
He's cuffed.
Wrestle him. Officer, use your nightstick.
There's a fight.
Oh, he's down.
He's down. Officer, took it down.
Oh, and the pit bull's on him.
Biscuit did not like that.
Officer A.
Yeah. The pit bull almost took out the CHP officer.
Officer X just Justin
Good
out.
pit bull.
I got taken down.
Very impressive.
Officer, you totally took me down.
Totally.
I was on my way out the door.
Justin is like 6'2", and the officer just took
Justin,
him out.
do you remember what he said when they say, "Please, could you take the breathalyzer test?"
Yeah.
And he says, "Always do it."
Yeah. And I said, "No, I'm out of here."
You pretty much always do it.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Right.
You were wrestled to the ground and the pit bull's on him.
Yeah.
It's
See,
a
that's
bad
the one thing I had going. I got to keep the biscuit in the car all the time.
That's
'Cause I had to, at least I had the pit bull going for me, but she wasn't very intimidating,
she's
was she?
licking my knee until she's like going after the CHP officer.
Officer X, you took me down.
I had to adjudicate the situation.
You deserved it.
I appreciate that. All right. Can we get a round of applause, please?
That made
for
the show.
Thank you.
Oh, because he had to be taken down.
Yeah, he did. Drunken fool.
Wow.
What's wrong with you, man?
All right, so there you go. Somebody had to do it. He
Drunken
really
bastard.
did take me down, too. It was not only a foot sweep, but it was a neck hold.
Oh, yeah.
By the way. Yeah, he really got the...
Did you do the dragon hold?
Oh, he got the whole...
Carotid?
He got the whole...
Oh, no, we didn't do that.
He really, he took charge. I appreciate that, actually.
I can show you that.
That's what I think you should do. I just thought it was important to show...
Oh, we got redneck.
You know, everything that was going to happen.
Are your services done?
No.
No.
They're not.
Well, no, because he could drink then.
This is the longest show ever,
He can
by
drink
the way.
anyway. Didn't he drink?
No, I mean, he's done. So he can drink now.
No. I thought you were drinking anyway.
So let's talk.
Oh, we need to have him drink.
Let's talk about hop chemistry here.
Officer X, do you want to have a drink with us?
Absolutely.
All right, there we go.
There we go.
Again, please, a big round of applause for Officer X for hanging out.
Mostly for wrestling you down to the ground.
I appreciate that. I was afraid you weren't going to do it, and I really wanted.
There was no video on that either.
Yeah, webcam there too.
All right. Here's what we're gonna do. It's late in the show. It's the longest show.
I think it's the longest show ever.
Yeah.
Why is that? I wonder.
because alcohol is that time continuing thing, and it just like squishes it down. I thought he was grilling. I thought he was grilling me for 15 minutes, and it was only like 8.
I still have questions.
John, read this, please.
Okay, cool.
Oh, John didn't read yet.
Don't look it over. Just open it up.
Oh, wait. Justin.
And read it.
I'm focused.
CHP officer has to read something.
Yes,
Okay.
we'll make him read too. Go ahead.
Bolder barley wines frequently ferment for 4 fortnights.
Damn.
Wait, you said what?
You guys are all too
What was that?
sober.
What was that F word?
You're all too sober.
I just spilled beer.
No, John.
I just spored a bit.
John, what was that F word?
Fermentation.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right. That will be a drinking verb. And
It was the microphone stand.
and
Officer
mine.
X, you're in on that too.
Yes,
so
you
you
are
have to
in
drink
on that.
too.
All right, here's what we're going to do.
Your services.
We're going to take a quick break. I know it's late. I'm going to come back. I'm going to wrap it up with Matt. We're going to do just a couple more questions. We're going to talk about next show. We're going to get the hell out of here. It's.
We got burgers to brew.
We got burgers to
ferment.
Give me 5 minutes. Do I have a caller on there? I could check.
There's somebody dangling.
No.
No
call.
They wouldn't call you.
All right, so give us a short break. I'm going to do one song. Take a pee real quick, guys. I'm going to come back. We're going to wrap it up.
Oh wait, Justin doesn't pee.
Fair enough.
I've never seen it happen.
It's only been once this year.
I've never seen it happen.
Just because I'm a man. Whatever that means.
Don't make me get my flamethrower out.
I don't remember if I played the song already. That's how this drunken show is.
You know what? It's forgivable because it's the drunken show.
Hop questions here.
I don't care, John.
I do.
Don't make me come over this counter.
It's after 8 o'clock and I don't care.
I want to know how light affects hops.
We'll be right back. It's the Brewing
badly.
Network.
Bad.
Oh, it didn't work. All right.
I love that song.
We're wrapping up the drunken show.
That song's older than you are.
Yeah, but I still love that.
That's what I
I'll
like
sing it
about
to you. Oh, darling.
And there you go. That's what you know.
Go ahead, John.
Please believe me, 'cause I'll never do you no harm.
By the way,
you told me.
I had to shut him down for that part. That's why we're brewcasters and not singers, kids.
Okay, yeah. There you go.
We just talk about
Hey, we're as drunk as you are right now.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. It's a long show. Matt.
It's a good show.
You're the official participant of the longest show in TV.
Oh, and by the way, I'm arrested now.
You are.
Yeah, you're officially in jail.
That's why we have a designated driver for you, Doctor.
Oh, yeah, because you, scooped me up.
Yeah, we did.
John, I've been cutting you off all night. Please ask your final question to Matt from Firestone.
My final question. How does light affect hops?
Oh, that's been coming up all night.
I know, but I never let him get an answer.
I know. Fine.
Exactly.
It's bad.
Tell me why you're known as Batman.
Batman.
Oh, that's a
Wait, that's a
now that's a question from Vinny. That's a good question right
Yes.
there.
Oh, yeah, that was the one from last week.
Yeah, Vinny wanted
I
us
want
to
know
ask
why
you-
light affects hops and how does it lead into him being as Batman.
No, you can't ask it that way.
It's a double-sided
You can't ask it
Let
that
me
way.
ask it and stop
You have to ask
interrupting
it why are you...
Turning you both off. The problem is that John knows the answer to the question. I hate it when you ask questions that you know the answer to. I'm not turning you back on. Vinny left me with the question, why are you called Batman? Why does he call you Batman?
Why are you called Batman?
Let's start with that.
Why?
It could be a long answer, but originally brewing in the Midwest, we're a little further north. Sun's not so intense, and brewers obviously, especially in a craft brewery, we're making multiple batches a day. We're exposed to a lot of hops. We talked earlier about the pellets being ruptured lupulin glands.
Yeah.
And a brewer walks away from the day covered in hop dust.
Okay.
And go out to your car, drive home, back in Chicago, never really noticed a whole lot. You go home, you smell kind of like hops.
Okay.
No big deal. Go
All
home
right.
to the girlfriend, no problem.
Gotcha.
California, sun is very intense. These brewers work around all this hop dust, and in our brewery in Paso Robles, we have passive solar, so no lights on during the day. The sun's coming through, and by 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, I mean, the sun's just barely up in the sky, the brewers start smelling literally like skunks. It smells like a skunk has sprayed in the brewery.
Okay.
Stinky man.
Okay.
And most people know that have studied any hop chemistry that the UV light radiation will cleave a mercaptan off of the isoalpha acid and create the same chemical constituent that comes out of the ass end of a skunk.
Okay.
And thus, a lot of imported beers in flint glass or green glass can get the classic skunked character.
Okay.
So it's just light on hops.
I gotcha. So that's why he calls you Batman?
Well, so
how do you add your hops to your fermentation or
No, I'm cutting you off.
Turn it back up. Just to answer the Batman question.
Yes.
Vinny gives me a lot of shit because I like to dry hop after the sun has gone down. I like to dry hop at night. We have a lot of light in the brewery. I don't want to skunk the beers. And I'm a little anal retentive that way.
All right. And the other question from Vinny then is, tell me the story about the record store.
So I got done with the day of brewing. I'd worked 8 hours on the brew house, done a few batches. Hadn't been very careful, got a lot of hop dust on myself. I was new in California, didn't know any different. Went down to San Luis to buy a couple albums at Boo Boo Records. Yeah. And when I approached the counter with my albums, the first thing the person told me before she'd even take my money was, "You can't bring that in here." And I wasn't quite sure what she was talking about. I'm like, I'm a paying customer? What are you talking about? She's like, leave your dope in your car.
Oh, yeah, and you just stunk so bad. Exactly. See, now that is a good story. And in fact, Vinny said, when he left, he's like, you ask him that question, you're going to love it. That's a good story, because you're totally right. It really stinks. Hops stink. And they're a good stank. Like, it's a stank-a stank. So, you're right.
Guys like that stink. Women don't like that stink.
I love that stank. But you're right. You go into an establishment that doesn't know what they're smelling.
Yeah, I told her I was a brewer. She didn't believe me, but she still sold me the albums and told me to get lost.
A brewer of what?
Yeah.
Little did she know.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so now we know the secret of Batman.
Batman, yeah.
All right. Can we call you Batman?
He's Batman.
You can call me whatever you want.
Yeah.
So, Matt, what's the deal?
Have been all night.
Are you headed back to Paso Robles tonight, or what?
Is the CH officer still
here? Yes, he is.
He's still here. Need some more drinks, man.
I think I'm going to stick around for a little food.
There you go.
A little wind down.
We have food. We have food.
All right. It's a long show, kids. It's been a long one.
Yeah.
It's
the longest yet.
It's going to be a good archive.
A record.
I want to say thank you to all the callers that called in. We actually had a record of callers as well today, too.
Yeah, that was the best. Yeah.
And my beer's empty.
The chat room, as usual, was awesome and really helped us out. I think that we fulfilled all the goals that I set in the beginning as far as drinking. I'm definitely more intoxicated than I've ever been on a show.
The question is, can we have you on as a guest again, Matt?
Not
not under the drug show.
The sober show.
The sober show.
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Really
You'll only come back to the sober show?
I want to tap his brain a little bit.
Will someone come and pick me up for the show?
We will.
That's what we got to do. We're going to fly you up next time.
Yeah, we will fly you up.
To do that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This is going to sound weird at first, but I'm going to compensate for it. I was hoping you're going to bring your girlfriend up. Because she's actually totally cool too. I met you and her at the Portland Brew Festival.
Yeah.
And the problem with the Portland Brew Festival, and the problem in this sense, so don't get me wrong, guys. I just met a bunch of dudes. Like, everyone was all beer, and she was one of the only people I met who could just relax a little bit and hang out and talk and say what's happening. Yourself as well, because you and I didn't feel the need to do the interview and talk about all the beer because you were going to be in here for the show. So we were just talking about the food we were eating and kind of hanging out. And your girlfriend was totally cool. So.
Melissa spent a lot of time in Portland, a lot of time in Seattle.
Okay.
She already decided that Bridgeport IPA was her favorite beer, regardless of what I brew.
Oh, very nice.
So, I had to introduce her to Carl Eckhart.
Yeah. I don't know if that's good or it sucks.
I have something to live up to.
Yeah, exactly.
Motivation.
Actually, I'll give her some credit for that.
That's
Bridgeport's a damn good brewery.
Good.
I love their IPA. That's a nice beer.
Did they brew a porter?
I'm not sure. What I've had is their bottle conditioned IPA, which is very nice.
Yeah,
It's
outstanding.
Well, if they don't, they should, because Bridgeport Porter.
Yeah, it works. Well,
It's
what
a
I'm
tongue
saying
twister.
is my official invite the next time you come on the show is also for
No.
Melissa. So.
It was a pleasure having you.
Excellent. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Although I got shit to give away.
What do you have to give away?
Shirts.
Well, how
He
many?
brought, Matt brought
Yeah, you've been slacking. You've been getting drunk
I gave
and
away
slacking.
two. I gave away 2 shirts so far.
And wait,
Do one more.
Let's play Stump the Brewer.
Oh,
we didn't play Stump the Brewer.
That's a good thing.
Can you move Dr. Scott, please?
Don't make me come over there, because you're only like...
For whoever's left, we're going to
10
do a
feet
quick game
away.
of Stump the Brewer. I'll
the
take it in
Brewer.
the chat room, and I'll take one on the phone, because I got 2 shirts to give away. So, chat room, Stump the Brewer, add your question, or call 888-401-BEER. And by the way, we're going to have to drink half a pint if they call in.
Oh, and
Just
by
'cause
the
it's the
way,
end of the show
Chris,
doesn't mean the rules still apply.
Jonathan's wearing my shirt, so he should not give me any shit.
I got another shirt in my trunk.
Sticky man.
Yeah. You want to swim my armpits, Doc? Come on.
I want you guys both to read these.
Okay, I can read them. I've done well. I'm 2 for 2.
I saw the CHP guy took him down. I'll take you down right like that.
Doc, I want you to open that and read it. Don't read it over. Open it and read it.
Wait.
Quick.
Read it, Doc. Go.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers prior to performing Pilates.
That was close to messed up. John, same for you. Don't read it over. Just open it up and read it. Stump the Brewer, 888-401-BEER, or put it in the chat room. Nathan's taking down things there right now.
I'm going to open up and
Open it and go.
Happy hour hustles hurriedly by before I bought my mother more malt for her beer battered buttery biscuit bites.
Not bad. Damn it, my readings didn't go over well at all.
No.
I thought you guys would turn into retards.
That's why
when I
we're
gave the
co-hosting
notes.
and drink at the same time.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
No.
You're a bunch of
retard.
professionals.
No.
888-401-BEER, Stump the Brewer. Nathan, how you doing in the chat room there? You got some questions?
No. They all went to bed.
I got shirts to give away. I'll tell you what, I don't have to give them away. I'm happy to keep them. I'm already keeping a hat.
You got a nice hat.
We can give them away next week. Next week.
Yeah, I will give them away next week. John told me I was allowed to keep a hat because I worked hard on the website.
Yes, you.
So
Of
I'm
course,
keeping the hat. Which is like, do I have the thing on the back like yours?
No.
No, I don't.
What does your hat say? It's
What the hell,
we
man?
drink around here.
Why you got to bring me the cheap shit? No, I'm kidding. That's perfect.
That's awesome.
Okay, one thing I want to add
He's
in
a brewer,
is next week I will be here,
Yeah.
but the week following that I won't be, but I will call in from the playa.
Who do we have coming up in the future?
Is anybody going to be out in the desert with me?
Can you say that again, Dr. Scott?
Who's going to be out in the desert with me? Because I'd like to hook up with home brewers out there on the playa.
Where are you going again, Dr.
I'm going to Burning Man.
Well, what are you going to do?
Burning
In, what happens in Burning Man, Dr. Scott?
I drink a lot of beer.
Okay, good. And are you bringing any type of fire?
He's got a...
Yes, I there's this thing I call a flamethrower that I'm going to bring out with me, and you guys have seen it.
Yeah.
You know what I love about Dr. Scott? Here's what I love about Dr. Scott. He's the guy that you can ask all the questions to, right?
Yeah.
You got a tough question, you ask Doc, right? And everybody knows that. They listen, they call in, they ask Doc. He's also the guy who gets hammered.
Yeah, he does. Everybody,
You said I could.
I know, you're absolutely right.
You said I should.
I got a Stump the Brewer question.
Okay.
You ready, Matt?
Mm-hmm. Come on, Matt. Come on, Matt. Come on, Matt.
You're not going to get this one.
There he is. We can help him.
And it's one of those ones that
Matt's
they
pretty
ask
sharp.
that are kind of random.
I don't think I could help him.
Hey, we're not asking you, Doc.
Yeah, I'm turning you off, Doc, because you like to answer. No, you're off.
He's
You're off. Here you go, Matt. What are the average cohumulone levels for pearl hops?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's what they do.
That's tough. I'm going to throw out actually a guess though. And
Okay.
I'm going to say 24%.
24.
Per lay.
Did they put an answer in the chat room, Nate? Hold on. Natty's working the chat room
24%?
trying to figure out what the deal is.
24% of the total alpha.
Per lay.
Doc's got lots to say, but
Yeah.
I've turned him off.
Have another beer, Doc.
I have no more beer.
Yeah. You have a beer in front of you that's full, man. Half full.
Matt, You got invited to the drunk show.
Matt, well, let's talk about how Matt drove, 4 hours up here?
Yeah, I drove 4 hours. You got me drunk, and now I gotta stay.
I like that. Do you play poker, Matt? Because we could do that.
I'll pay for your poker if you want.
We could get some poker going.
Yeah, I'll donate.
We also got burgers.
I owe it to him.
You got an answer, Nate?
What's your email, Matt?
Hey, John, give Nate the microphone. What do you got, Natty?
I haven't gotten the answer yet, but I have another question. So if you want me to just do it live, name. This is for the brewer and for Dr. Scott. Name the 4 chambers of the heart in order of blood flow, including the names of the valve.
All right, that's for Dr. Scott.
I'll restate the question. Name the 4 chambers of the heart in order of blood flow, including the names of the valve.
I don't know how that stumped the brewer, but we'll give it to Doc.
It's right ventricle, left ventricle.
Shit, I could have said that.
No, it's right ventricle, right atrium, left ventricle, or right atrium.
Left atrium.
No, it's right, left.
Ventricle, I think you have it.
Atrium, ventricle.
Uh-huh.
So, right atrium, left ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle.
I think that pretty much is a stump.
No.
Wait, let's give him a second because I have the answer to the other question.
Right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, right ventricle.
Uh-huh.
In order of blood flow, including the names of the valves, though.
Shit. Okay.
Okay, we have answers for those two as well, but keep going with that. The answer is to the...
For the first question.
Right, for the first question, it's actually 27 to 32%. According to Hop Union.
I said 24.
24. Okay. You
That's
know
a
what?
stump.
I would say it's a stump.
That's a stump. We'll give it to you.
3%. We'll give it to you.
Nate, please write down the information, and that person who asked the question, send me an email, justin@thebrewingnetwork.com.
Thank you.
Hey,
Doc.
Okay, what? Not on again? Okay, good.
Oh God!
Don't make me come over this counter.
Hey, press me, man. Come on. All right.
I think you're stumped also. Although I know you have the information in your head, that's not what I'm saying, but you don't have it readily available.
I'm not a cardiologist, and if I thought about it, yes, I could.
And here's the thing. If we only had 2 shirts to give away, I would say that wasn't a valid question. But because Matt was nice enough to bring a bunch of stuff to give away, I'm going to go ahead and give it away. Yeah. Are you all right with that, Doc?
Well, wait a minute. Was I halfway right and give half a shirt?
You were absolutely halfway right.
Okay.
But I'm going to give him a full shirt. But you were halfway right.
Can you fly me out there to give it to him?
Doc, you can afford to fly yourself out
I'm
there,
not
man.
flying to the Midwest. Is it Osbrewer? Because I'll go there.
Yeah, who was it? Who were the questions from, Nate?
It was Osbrewer.
Bug Eater Brewery.
And who else?
And then it was MedTech.
And MedTech.
MedTech, yeah.
Okay. I'll go to
Bug Eaters every week, man.
That's all right.
That's okay.
No, he's not. He's not every week.
That's cool.
All right. You got to write this stuff down for me. You doing it?
They have your emails.
So I don't want to mess up prizes, even though they have my emails.
MedTech did not officially answer yet because he said he's too tired.
So are we.
Wait,
all right.
Does tired constitute drunk?
Go ahead. What was that question, Doc?
Does tired mean the same as drunk?
No, it doesn't.
I'm too tired. Means it's, honey, I'm too tired. No, honey, I'm too drunk.
Dr. Scott, how many children do you have? 2. Okay.
I got a large Jewish family.
And you have and what type of pets do you have?
I've got a goat. I've got 2 dogs and 2 cats.
I love goats.
And a goat.
That's right.
I'll bring the goat in.
I'm just laughing because I love goats. All right, we're out of here. Listen, we're out of here.
We are.
That's the drunken show.
That is the drunken show.
And that's what you get.
I hope
you asked for it.
Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it, but I don't know.
Matt will be on in 6 months.
It wasn't exactly the most informative show.
Actually, I'd like to hear some feedback because I do check the forum on Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, but you don't post.
Yeah,
I'm upset about that.
I'm that guy.
No, I'm upset
I will
about
get
that.
sucked into like blah 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 blah, and I will get sucked into it.
So what? Post.
Oh, yeah, I will post.
Doc,
But, okay.
it is your duty to post. I mean it. And John?
Hey, Matt, are you going to give away your email?
Okay, I will start to post.
Will you post
I am
your email?
registered.
Okay.
Post.
I will post.
John?
Fine.
If Matt has any hop chemistry questions or oak barrel fermentation questions, you can email Matt at
Matthew, MATTHEW, at firestonebeer.com.
Matthew at firestonebeer.com.
Yes.
John, you got to start posting too.
I should. I'm trying to book, man.
I didn't say should. I said you have to
I
start
have to.
posting.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we need some interaction there.
Okay.
Okay, so it's is it firestone.com right now?
Firestone Beer.
Firestonebeer.com. That's where I got the logo that I put on the main page. If you click on the main page right now, and probably for the next 2 days, you'll get directly to Firestone. You can also then go to Matthew at firestonebeer.com. Yeah. Questions, find out about their beer, all of that. Yeah. Matt, we're going to have you back on a sober show.
Relatively so.
Maybe not, though.
Yeah, we know we will. Matt is full of information. I'll tell you what. Very inspirational brewer. Full of info.
You want me to give another question that I got from the
I
chat
got a
room
bunch
before
of
yeah, what the hell?
As a homebrewer level.
What I got here?
Got hop questions.
Do you use batch blending in your brewing? And if so, how do us schlubs do it?
Batch blending.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do a lot of batch blending.
We
would do a lot of multiple turns of the brew house into a single fermenter. So it would be similar to if you had a 15-gallon brew house that you were working on and fermenting in a 30-gallon fermenter.
Okay.
Or in our case, we'd do 4 batches into a fermenter. And then in the case of some of our better-selling beers, we would take multiple fermenters and blend them into a single finishing tank before we package.
Okay. Fair enough. How can homebrewers successfully utilize oak in their brewing? How much or how little oak in recipe calculation?
I would actually challenge homebrewers to get a barrel that makes sense with the size of their brew house. So if you got a smaller barrel, I mean, we're working in 65-gallon barrels, but they get a 15 or 30-gallon barrel and actually play around with doing fermentations in barrels. I think it's an amazing thing that's been lost in the art. Like I said earlier, it has everything to do with surface area, but more importantly, what oak can impart on the finished product.
Okay.
And I'm sold on it.
But you have to let it mellow.
Yeah. But the malt over time.
All the way on? What the hell's that?
What about oak cubes or oak chips?
I'm really impressed with the oak chips. And the oak cubes. I think both. I haven't worked as much with them because we work so much with barrels, but obviously you can impart oak character with those.
Well, yeah, if you can't afford a whole barrel. I think and I asked John. John did his brown here in oak, and I said, "How long has it not been on the oak?"
Right.
Because I pulled things off oak, and right away it's just like, God, I can't drink that.
I did it cold purposely.
And in 3-4 weeks later, damn, that's a damn nice beer. It really is.
100 years ago, the brewers in Burton-on-Trent, they were fermenting in barrels not because of oak character. They were fermenting because of the geometry of that fermentation vessel, the surface area, and they could not reproduce those beers in their cylinder conicals or even in their open fermenters. It was something unique to that vessel, and that's where the real magic is.
So the size and the amount of fluid in the barrel.
Yeah, the surface area and how oak interacts with yeast.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it's at.
All right, we're out of here. God damn it.
We could do a 6-hour show
Justin,
based on this.
What time is it?
You need to make me
almost
a cheeseburger.
It's like 8:30.
Matt,
Hey,
thank you, man. Thank
Doc,
you very much.
We didn't get to it, so which fruit did you use in your fruit beer?
Boysenberry.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let me tell you this.
It was horrible.
Now you got me going. When I was a kid, I used to walk to school, like 3rd grade.
Yeah?
And I was in L.A., and nothing grows in L.A. Nothing.
Yeah, right.
Nothing good anyway.
What part of L.A.?
Norwalk, like Whittier.
Well, no.
Downtown L.A.
Kids don't even grow in Norwalk.
Yeah, no, they don't. But I did, which might explain a lot. Okay? But there was a boysenberry tree that we passed. Man, that was good fruit. It was the only fruit that grew in Los Angeles County that was a damn good fruit.
I grew up in Orange County, which is just south of there.
Okay, there you go.
And grew up right next to Knott's Berry Farm.
Okay.
Birthplace of the boysenberry, so I had to do it.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And everybody in here is like, I kept asking, well, what fruit did I brew?
I didn't try the beer. I didn't drink it.
You bastard.
I know I'm a bastard. I'm going to drink it off
Don't
the
make
air.
me come over this.
I apologize, but at least we know it was boysenberry. That was a question from the chat room, by the way. Hey, and really quickly, Doc, the chat room also asked, hours ago, how'd the big brew go?
It sucked. It did not happen, and that's why Justin is going to eat 40 hamburgers.
That's right. I'm glad you guys didn't show up because I got a bunch of hamburgers.
It sucked.
All right.
It was not well publicized.
Here we go. The new website's up, so please
Homebrew
check out our archives. I'll put this one up soon. You can go to Firestone Brewery right from there, and lots of other shit. I don't know, gallery, and that's coming soon. And just click on links. Enjoy the new website. This was the official Drunk Show. You're not going to get another one for a while because
long time.
I'd actually rather be sober.
Me too.
To be quite honest. Yeah. John, you're a sissy.
Well, I learned from you.
I had a good time, and I really wanted to push it to the point where you said, I want this the Drunk Show.
Yeah. I appreciate that. When I say what the theme is, Doc sticks to it. Like he means business. If I say it's a drunk show, he means it's a drunk show.
And that's what I did.
Hey, and I want to talk about light.
And I'm not joking, Doc.
I did not drink for 2 days, so I could condition my liver so I could
and that I appreciate.
Live through this.
All right, Matt. Thanks for coming and hanging out.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Enjoy.
Can we feed him? Are we going to feed him?
We're going to feed him.
Oh, excellent.
He's not going anywhere.
Is that cop gone?
Yeah. I'm going to feed you all. All right.
Oh, there he is.
It's the Brewing Network. Hey, thanks to Matt Peterson for doing a bunch of stuff for us. And
taking the heat.
He's our official beer pal.
Taking the heat.
Thanks to Matt. Daniela?
Hello. I just gave Officer X a ride.
Oh,
you drove him home already?
Yeah, I had to.
Did that excite you?
You had to drive home our official officer?
Well, yes, I needed a ride, so I gave him a ride.
Oh, yes, it's good.
Because the only point is that they will nab you, and if they catch you, you're fucking under. That's it.
I'm glad you guys reminded me of that. Let me do this just before we go. It's going to be the last thing that's said. It was the Drunken Show. Please don't drink and drive. Stay at home. Enjoy your home brew. I am, by all means, not a supporter of drinking and driving.
We planned ahead.
Yeah. In fact,
definitely.
I'm entirely willing to call you all sorts of cuss words and several other names if you're drinking and driving. I'm a perfect example of being able to sit up here and say that I'm retarded, and I did it once, and I will never do it again. Do not drink and drive. So, of the entire Drunken Show, drink at home and then stay there.
Stay there.
All right. Everybody here has a ride home.
Stay at Justin's home.
And other than that, they're sleeping here.
Who is their ride? I'm the ride for everybody tonight.
Well, at least it's a ride home. I didn't say who it was.
And Officer X actually said he really appreciated us talking about that as well. It's very important. He said he sees ugly, ugly things every night.
There you go.
That's true.
That's cool.
That's true. I can only be thankful that I didn't do anything stupid and kill anybody or whatever else. So please do not drink and drive. And that's the final word of the Drunken Show. It's now time for our favorite song on the planet. Matt from Firestone Walker Brewery, thank you very much for coming in. You're welcome back anytime. We hope you do come back and, drink again, too.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right.
All right. Enjoy the archives and the website. We'll see you next week.
Pale ale is a friend of mine, and I sure like good barley wine. Chocolate porter, cherry stout, don't you know what I am talking about? Don't you give me that American crude, boys, I want a real homebrew. Homebrew, don't you really love it? Homebrew, can't get enough of it. Homebrew, it blows my mind. I love homebrew all the time. Yeah, I think I have me, well, I have me one right now. They should know how to get down. Double and triple on my best friend. I think I'll have them all over again. But don't you give me that American crude, boy, I want a real homebrew. Homebrew, don't you really love that homebrew? Can't get enough of it. Homebrew, it blows my mind. I love Yeah, I think I'll have me, well, I'll have me one right now. Give me a wheat beer on a hot summer day. A bark will do me when the skies are gray. I'll take a Belgian brew anytime, and the women sings and lamb big fine. But don't you give me that American crude, boys, I want a real home brew. Home brew, don't you really love it that a home brew? Can't get enough of it. Home brew, it blows my mind. I love home brew all of the time. Yeah, I think I'll have me, well, I'm the one right now. Cherry stout, yeah, you know what I am talking about. But don't you give me that American crude, boys, I want a real home brew. Home brew, don't you really love it that home brew? Can't get enough of it. Home brew, it blows my mind.